Welcome to 4Nerds. You son of a bitch. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
What's up, everybody? Let's go.
We can never start off. We can never start clean. Never start clean.
Unless I'm hosting.
I love the way I start. It's so unorthodox. Let's do this.
I'm not going to lie. That was perfect.
That was a pre-recorded video he was playing earlier. That wasn't me live.
Yeah. So
don't be fooled by the guy right
how
over here.
uncomfortable you were. You're like, what's up, guys?
Yeah, no, this is Andre.
That's me right there. Look at that.
There he is.
Hunk of a man.
He's about to scratch his nose. And here it comes. There it
is.
Oh my gosh.
Can't help it.
So,
I can't help it.
how have you guys been?
What's up, guys?
Last we were on air together, which was what, a week?
Well, that would be last Thursday.
Yeah,
so
last Thursday.
Thursday.
The show goes once a week, so
every week.
Every 7 days expire before we get to see each other.
So Anthony will be here. He's just he has some sort of sports thing, engagement or whatever that he's into right now. He'll be joining us a little bit later today. Well, we do have a very special guest waiting for us in the background. But before we do that, Nickatina has a huge announcement. Go ahead, Nickatina.
Well, so there is an event coming up later on in the month of May, and I mean, Ryan, you really should talk about this.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about this. So we are doing a trip to Dallas next month in May. May 15th and 16th, we're going to go down. We're going to be there for the exhibition. I'm sorry, the exhibit, the exhibition. the
exhibition match between Ryan from Zeeverfett and Andre from Nickatina.
It's Andre against Steppenwolf.
Sunday. So yeah, we're going down to Dallas. We're going to hang out. We're going to go to the exhibit over the AT&T Discovery District building, and they're going to have the Snyder cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. They have the storyboards there. They have the costumes there. They have a lot of other stuff there. They have some guides as well that take you through the exhibit. And so we're doing that, and we want Nickatina to join us, but unfortunately he's got a lot of things going on at his house, and so he's trying to duck out on this thing.
I'm not trying to duck out.
So I figured I'm taking the initiative, and I'm going to try to get a GoFundMe. So if there's anybody who would like to sponsor this guy, we would love to have him come on the trip with us and enjoy himself. There you go.
You see in the chat?
Oh, no,
looks like, he goes, Nickatina looking like bootleg version of Steppenwolf in that picture. Yeah, so guys, go ahead and check out the GoFundMe site. If you guys can, just donate a little bit of money. We're trying to get there. And I'd love to be able to meet this guy right here in person for the first time.
Yeah. So
Anthony,
we got to do
ACS Universe
something last
there.
year. Nickatina wasn't able to be a part of it. Somebody else who is possibly going to be on the trip with us. We have him backstage. Let me go ahead and bring him out, and we'll go through some of the comments. But let me bring him out because I don't want to keep him backstage for too long. What's up, Matt?
There he is.
What's up, man? I liked it backstage. It was kind of fun.
Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and head to the comments.
He likes to comment backstage.
He likes the comments. Yeah. So
stick to the script.
Who's here? Hold on. Well, it's not spoilers yet. We're not going to spoilers
Not yet.
Let's see. Snyder Steppenwolf says, LightCast. And he says, guys, we need to talk about Zack's and Aaron Michaels' original New God script, which was done in 2016. We need to talk about that. We will talk about that. We have reached out to Aaron. We're waiting on a response back from Aaron to see if he would like to come on the show and talk to us a little bit about that. All right, and Detective96 says hashtag Batflex series on HBO Max. Fear Jason says, let's go. Fire emojis. Hi, Ryan, Dawson, Anthony, and Nick. Let's see. Let's go. That's us. Still waiting. Yeah, we did start a little bit late, but it's all good. Oh, this guy can pass him right up. While you're here, please hit that like button. Yes, thank you so much. Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. It really does. Let's see. Hey, Nick, what's up? Rasha, she's in the house.
Russia.
We got Steve
Rasha.
Kassan.
Steve.
He's got a panel this Friday. So tune in to Steve's panel. He'll be talking about amateur filmmaking. I think that's what his panel is.
He's going to talk about how to make a movie, how to make an
to make a
adult
movie.
film, or I'm sorry, just
How to make
film
an
in
adult
general.
Wow. Shazam! Fear of the Gods. Lucy Liu. Yes, even at her elderly age, she is still doing acting. She is
She's
in
hot.
movies. And yes, I haven't seen her since Charlie's Angels. So she'll be in a
Doesn't
movie.
matter. It doesn't matter.
It's very similar. It's like the lady from Birds of Prey. Like the last movie I remember her in was like White Men Can't Jump. Rosie Perez. Yeah. So she was in that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Steve says, "Hey, Nickatina, I see you." That's very weird. For Jason says, "What's up?" So, peoples. Hey, Mr. Purchase Fiddle.
Mr. Purchase Fiddle.
Please. Hey, Nickatina. Nickatina's always scratching his nose. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Awkwardly. Yeah. So let me bring Matt back in. Are we good to go, Matt?
Yeah, we're good, man.
We're good.
We're good. We're good.
It's like, why'd you boot me in the
Coffee's
first
good,
place,
just
man?
do
What the hell?
I'm all right. It's all good here.
He knows how I roll. So
I like Lucy Liu. I mean,
Yeah, Lucy Liu, man.
Yeah,
I mean, her and the Scorpion King.
She was in Kill Bill.
I mean, yeah,
She played a killer role in Kill Bill, I thought.
yeah, she did good. I mean, I love Bill Murray's response to her in Charlie's Angels, though. It was probably one of the best. Worst actress he's ever worked with. But I love Lucy Liu. I think she's great. I liked her in Lucky Number 11.
Number 11.
Number 7.
Yeah, that was with
Josh Hartnett.
Josh
Oh,
Hartnett.
okay.
There we go.
Yeah,
Lucky
yeah,
Number
wow.
11. Yeah, check it out. If you've never seen it,
Yeah,
check
no,
it
I
out.
need to check
Lucky
it out.
Number
Yeah,
11.
no, I haven't seen that. What's up, El Cappy? What's going on? South
Cali
Cali guys in the house.
What's up?
South Cali guy.
Let me see. It did jump on me, so I missed some of the stuff. But yeah, everybody's yelling LightCast. What up, Matt? So what, Matt? What's going on with you these days? You're in retirement, as I hear. You're down at the range. How's everything? How's your drive?
It's called Home on the Range, Ryan.
Oh, you're talking about golf. I'm not a golfer.
Not a
I'll
golfer.
shoot guns.
Shoot
I'll
guns. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now you're talking Dawson's language.
Yeah.
So is it pellet or BB?
It's 45 ACP.
Nice. No, I play golf. I like golf.
Yeah, not a golfer. I play baseball. I mean, I'll go to the batting cage or something. Well, I actually have a batting thing in my house, but not in my house, but it's in the backyard.
See, I was never big, I was never a big golf guy, but I was really big on basketball. Right now, my foot is jacked up, so I can't really play. But I'm telling you right now, if the four of us got in the court, I'd be looking like Prince.
You would be missing another leg.
Hold on.
The Andre and the Revolution.
Yeah, Andre and the
You'd be looking like
Revolution.
Prince. I didn't know
So we're
Prince
gonna-
played basketball.
We're gonna be making pancakes. at the end of
Dawson
this.
doesn't know. Yeah, we're at the end. We're having pancakes, and Dawson doesn't know what we're talking about. So now it's just lame. All right, so Dawson's like, "You get the fire extinguisher on that."
Oh man.
Put the fire out. What's
But
up,
no,
Jesse
I-
Allen's here?
I actually played golf in high school. I played golf and basketball and football. But I did like golf quite a bit. I haven't been able to play it since I've been out of high school because, poor. And it's kind of necessary to have money, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I guess money is important to some people.
Matt,
It's
though
kind of necessary.
you've been in the state of, let's say, I don't want to say retirement, but you're no longer the featured host on LightCast. But from what I hear, LightCast is expanding.
Yeah. We're doing more shows. We're doing comics and coffee, which I love those two guys. Evan and Alex are just fucking hilarious dudes. That they're going to be adding more to their show and bringing on comic book artists and people that have worked on. And they also bring coffee, which I love. And then Sean's doing his show today, which is going to be the Radio Outpost show, which is all about Star Wars. And so he's bringing on composers and musicians to talk about the music of Star Wars today after your guys' show.
Nice.
You heard that Williams is going to come back. John Williams is going to come back and do another indie go. And that was interesting. Very interesting. What's your take on the new indie project?
Love it.
Are you interested? You're interested in it. Okay.
Love it. I'm an Indiana Jones fan since the day I went to the drive-thru or the drive-in and watched
then let me
it.
get your take on Crystal Skull.
Oh, I still love it. I don't give a fuck what the special effects weren't the greatest, but the
right.
idea was there. The idea was
The
there.
idea
The
was
concept
there,
was
yes.
I thought the beginning of it was good, and as it progressed on, it just got really. I felt like even Spielberg was like, "All right, this is dumb. Let's just finish this up. All right, action." Fuck. I mean, it was just
it's
really,
one of those
monkeys.
It's one of those things
we're
where
on
I
a
think
set.
people,
You can tell.
Yeah, it's one of those things I think people take, like, they took it for realism, and it's like, this is Indiana Jones. This guy's stealing the lost ark. You know what I'm talking about? He
jumps out of airplanes
he jumps out of airplanes
in rafts.
I expect him to jump
And
inside
then
of a
he
refrigerator and survive a nuclear bomb.
That
And
whole
that
scene
part I
in
love
general was so
love that.
unnecessary. I was like, why?
It
are we
was
even doing this?
necessary
No,
because
it
it's
wasn't.
Indiana.
I
It's
love
Indiana.
I absolutely love that part.
My Indiana Jones is afraid of snakes. Don't like
Indiana
snakes.
Jones doesn't punch
He's got a
people in the
whip.
face.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll go back to the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Hold on, go back to Raiders of the Lost Ark. He opens the Ark, and you see the guy's fucking face melt off. You're telling me that anything else besides that is
badass.
You're talking anything else beside that's too much. I'm gonna say no.
You watch that shit in 4K.
That right there, that was the edge. You don't go beyond the edge.
No, instead they said, "How can we top face melting?" I know, flying saucer. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was always
came up,
there.
I was like, dude, what is this?
And Spielberg was like, I did Close Encounters. You did Star Wars. I mean, it's
a match made in heaven.
And it's all real. All those things that they put in the film were there. The Crystal Skull theories, and that's all real. Like, people actually work on these like studies for these things, and the pyramids. Like, it's all there. All they did was Jones it up, and that's all I wanted.
Well said. They Jones it up.
You got your Jones. Okay, got
my Jones.
Out of all of them, though, I mean, as much as I loved all three of them. I don't really count the fourth one, but I loved all three of them. But my favorite one, I think, because of my childhood and my brother and sister, we watched the most, would have been Temple of Doom. And it's a standalone Indiana Jones movie. It has nothing to do with the Nazis or with the grand story. It's just a standalone story of him saving all the children of that village, all the men. Well, I guess they all died. But
bring back to us. Bring back.
Talking about Gandhi and when you're a kid, you think it's a potato he's holding, and you don't know it's a stone. You think it's a potato.
And then he loses one in the water. It falls down.
He's a spud.
So I'm like, oh fuck, there's one down there now.
Like, this is a spud.
I love it. Indiana Jones is
from
life.
Omaha.
But like you mentioned,
Tell Ali he can find him in hell. And with that, let me bring in our fourth nerd.
Hey! What up? See, Anthony's also a fan of Temple of Doom, right? Anthony, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. However, if I'm ever pulling up to the house and I hear that some of you haven't seen Lucky Number 11, y'all can get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, Brian.
Okay, I need to see that movie.
It's a great movie.
It is.
Can we talk about Indiana Jones, please?
I was running in the house. I pulled up in the driveway and I heard y'all talking about it. Y'all were like, 11? I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was
I'm familiar with.
When the guy's getting lowered into that fire pit, in Indiana Jones,
yes.
Temple of Doom, he's like, and I was always like, what? This is crazy.
Well, I kind of talk about like Temple of Doom. It's actually interesting that you bring it, that Andre brings it up, because with Crystal Skull, people were like, oh, this is such a departure from what they were doing before. But like, actually, I think you mentioned this before, actually, Matt, how they tried to cover a lot of bases. Like with Temple of Doom, they did like cults and stuff, like trying to with like a human sacrifice. And there's also like Christianity with the Ark of the Covenant and everything. Like they covered a lot of different demographics, and Aliens is just one they hadn't tapped into.
I'm excited for the next one.
The weakest element for me
it's in that film interdimensional.
It's the Snyder cut.
Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf and Mutt Lange.
Oh yeah,
was the weakest part of the movie.
But you know what? In theory, though, I think it was a good idea, because at the time he was pretty popular. He just done Transformers, and so when I had heard that he was going to play his son, I thought, hey, that's a great idea. Here's someone who can take up the mantle and carry on with the story or legend of Indiana Jones, but unfortunately, it just did not work out that way.
It just didn't.
Shia went crazy. He went a little crazy. So
Yeah, and then he went crazy. Then I was like, well, let's scrap that
He's
idea.
literally on a
Did he have a
freaking
daughter?
vibing.
Like, are we going to make the Adventures of Mutt Lang? He's like, just do it. They're like, no.
But so the girl who's in this new movie, is she supposed to be his daughter, or is she just supposed to be a female version of Indiana Jones?
No clue. No clue.
No?
Female version. Is it a multiverse story? Is that what we're doing here?
Ezra Miller's gonna star in it.
Honestly, the way Indy would get around those movies, though, there's no telling how many kids he has.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no telling how many.
My bad.
She's the daughter from the girl in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, the white girl, the one that's annoying. It might be her.
Oh,
the one
yeah,
who put her perfume on top of the elephant's head.
Yeah.
Or like that scene where they're eating like monkey brains, remember?
Yeah, or the Last Crusade, when the German lady, he might have slept with her and had a baby. She might have had a baby before she fell into the pit.
Elsa!
Into the center of the earth, right?
It couldn't have been Elsa because she died too quick. It didn't have time to develop.
She might have had a baby down there, and then she came back.
She came up through the ground.
And,
you know what I mean?
I love that line, though, from Last Crusade.
Like Army of the Dead, you know?
You see the host of the manor just be like, and I am Mickey Mouse, and he slaps him. That's one of the best lines.
These are Scottish tapestries, and I am Mickey Mouse.
I am Mickey Mouse.
I am Mickey Mouse.
I love it.
The one thing I love
at the end of the movie, at the end of Indy 5, Ray is going to come down, and they're going to like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Ray." "What's your family name?" "Ray Jones." and then that's how it's going to end.
But what I love about Indiana Jones, especially the first three, was that I always loved the sound effects, like of the punching, especially. It was never just like it was like
it was literally like the sound effects crew punching like slabs of meat. Yeah, that's like literally what it is. That's what it's.
It was always like, yeah,
I love it.
Well, that scene in Last Crusade when like, all the soldiers are coming at him, and he has that Luger, like, bam, he shoots all of them at once.
Yeah. That was great.
He's like, wow, I got them all. But see, like, it's humor like that's mixed into those movies that makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't like fast women. It's a great line.
It is.
Like fast women.
It's a great series. It's a great series. I love it.
Actually, one of the things I thought was I would imagine now it's kind of controversial. Would be the scene where he meets Adolf Hitler.
I love that. I love that. That's perfect.
No, I'm saying nowadays it might have been, but I thought it was a great scene.
Why would it be controversial now?
Well, who knows these days? But he turns around, and he runs into the guy, and he's holding the journal,
the journal,
and he takes it, and then he signs it.
Well, that's like really ironic, though. You know what I mean? That's like one of those irony pieces because
reading Spielberg, instead of burning them.
No, because Steven Spielberg directed Schindler's List, which was all about the Holocaust, and then he puts Hitler in there, which is ironically burning books, and then he signs a journal, which is like the hypocrisy of his ideology, which is hilarious. When I was a kid, I'm like, what is he signing? Who is that guy? What's happening?
I will say, as a fan of like the original three, that the end of the Last Crusade of them riding into after he says we named the dog Indiana, they ride into the sunset. I was good. I was good. I was good with that ending. That was perfect. Like they rode off into the sunset, and I was like, if we never get another Indiana Jones movie, I'm satisfied. So,
yeah.
Like, follow me.
What's funny is that like Indiana Jones, right? Like the whole theme and the way it was put together. One of the movies that actually, in my opinion, kind of resembled that same feel of Indiana Jones, that thematic, that really dramatic and fun, was the first Pirates of the Caribbean. After that, I didn't like really all the other ones, but that first one kind of captured that same magic that Indiana Jones was able to do.
Agreed.
With its music and with its humor and with its story, it was like, yeah, this is really good. Unfortunately, as it went on, it just got stupider.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a good job with that. Stupider. Have you ever, Matt? Have you ever had anyone write the word "stupider" in an essay? Like, that's going to be stupider, and I'm like,
stupid.
You should be surprised, man. You'd be surprised what you read in an essay where kids were like, "Well, English is still evolving, so I can use it," and it's like slang words, and it's like, "Well, we're not going to put bro in our essay to identify that Hamlet was a bro, and he was trying to get it on."
The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
He's trying to clap cheeks.
You ever seen? It was okay. It was okay.
Did you ever see tell me no kid has ever wrote clap cheeks in a paper.
No, they haven't.
Well,
but I'm pretty sure if they did, it would be Ohio Dave would be in the class. Today we're clapping cheeks. Let's go.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever swore in writing an essay? Like, did they drop an F-bomb or they say that, shit or no? That's good.
Typically,
No,
if we're doing poetry, I allow profanity.
Thou
actually.
shits on face. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was just too much for TV. That's
wanted
pretty raunchy. That was pretty raunchy.
He wanted a dirty Sanchez, and he didn't.
He wanted dirty Sanchez. I actually want a glass bottom boat, but that's not really what we're talking about. So.
You want that? What is that? What is it? Arctic pipeline? Is that what it's called? I was here when there was rotten.com. So
Yeah.
We got Siobhan in the chat as well. I guess she's saying goodnight to everybody because she's out of here.
It's good to see you.
Although, how do you say her name, Dawson?
I don't know, Siobhan.
No, man, you're like Cedelbon.
Or Silpain? Or Solpain?
she's the special at fucking Cinnabon or what?
I don't know.
He pronounced it all eloquently that I've ever around with Siobhan.
Oh, let's
Like,
see.
I mean, how am I supposed to guess that?
Hey,
I think his name is
up, Taylor?
Yade.
Taylor's in the house.
What's up, Taylor?
How you
That's
doing?
the
How you doing?
culture ed nerd.
Cultural nerd. Oh,
Red.
the English language is the language that breaks the most rules, I think, of it.
Yeah.
It does. I allow profanity when I do poetry, though. Like I allow it
Really?
because it's part of the human expression, and so you can't do poetry without the human expression. But all you need with poetry is a lot of profanity. Actually allows for a deeper insight into the condition of what they're trying to explain.
It's like I need a word that rhymes with bunt.
Stunt. Oh,
Thank you, sir.
Yo, Katsuka, chill, homie.
I clap
Oh, man.
You get an A. You get an A for that.
Yeah.
Manny V is up in here. Oh man, thank you.
What's up, Manny?
Thanks for being here. Ill Life is in the house. Says restore the Snyderverse.
Yes.
Katsuka, yeah, that was funny. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let's get to our first topic. Let me go and bring that in because he wanted me to put things in. Oh crap. That was not the right one. Here's
That's just
the
fucked
right
up.
one.
I mean, that's just like, why would you even put that in there? That's just mean. If that's the case, then I'm gonna do it back at you.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you will. Okay. So oh, he left. Oh, he left. Okay, so anyway, so now that the show has started, he left. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
I changed it.
Oh man.
You literally said he has no dick on left.
But do you guys run this on a podcast? Like is this on Spotify too?
Oh,
Well,
don't do that.
We try to put them on Spotify every now and
We
then.
just got demonetized now.
Oh, okay.
Nobody
I was
read
like-
it. Nobody read it.
You gotta
Aloud.
read it. And you gotta read it with like a Shakespearean accent. You know what I mean? If you're doing Shakespearean, you gotta have that deep
He has a
British accent.
It is true. Nickatina has no dick.
You have to enunciate on that last part.
You are
Nickatina, and then you pause and give it that nice beat, and then has it.
I like how this is what we're still talking about. And now we're doing it like poetry.
Nickatina has no penis.
You guys are terrible.
I love it.
So did you watch, or I know you did, but what did you think of the Army of the Dead trailer?
He's like, what'd you think of Zack Snyder's Justice League?
What'd you think of Nickatina's dick?
I couldn't find it. So.
You made it. They taught his headset. There you go.
You guys are terrible. This is all you're gonna get now. NS, no shit.
Yes, I know that's no sausage. There's no
gotta be
shake
professional.
here.
Oh man.
No schlong.
Gosh.
Army of
no.
the Dead, right? Army of the Dead.
Yeah. Apparently, I am dead, according to a lot of you.
Don't. I have another comment, man. Don't say anything else because I'll shoot something out.
What?
I'll shoot something else out.
And that's the end of Nickatina.
I like Katsuna's. Where art thou, Nickatina's appendage? Where's his third leg?
Oh man.
But what did I?
Yeah. I'll send you the link. Hold on.
Instead of send him a link, why not? Maybe he'll distract everyone from me.
My tears are blocking my view of the screen.
Okay, so we were talking about Army of the Dead. Okay.
Way to
So,
get it back on track.
Now,
Yeah,
the standout character in the entire trailer, I thought, was the White Tiger zombie.
Yeah.
That was bad fucking ass. And we know today from Grace Randall's interview that was his idea. Zack's like, yeah, that was my idea. I wanted to have that in there.
Yes.
Which I thought was a really good interview with Zack. But
I wonder if Zack was there like, I want this big zombie mangy tiger to be in the movie.
why would he be saying with an
Who the
accent?
fuck
for?
is that?
It's for Wayne's World 2.
Oh, I
that
was
guy. Oh, man.
I was like, where are we going
You
with
put me
this?
by surprise, man. I was like, what's going on here? Zack has a weird accent and he
You're
writes
supposed to be
tigers.
quoting a movie scene. You guys
Okay,
apparently don't
so-
know. It's classic.
So real quick, Matt, what was your take on the trailer? I mean, I thought it was excellent. I know a lot of us did. So Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought I'm excited for it because I get to, because I talked to like Richard Centrone, and it's nice to see him play Zeus, and a lot of people didn't catch that at first, but yeah, he is Zeus. I remember he was talking with us before that he was working on Army of the Dead, and he was excited for what was coming, and now we get to finally see what he got to do, and Matt Rigetti was talking about all the crazy stunts that they were doing for this film and how it was a small crew, and to hear Zack actually be passionate about this. And he looked really happy. And I think to me, that was like, it all went in as I went in to actually watch the trailer. And I was like, this movie's going to be fucking wild. Like I could just see it. And it's all shot on that 50 mil. Like it's the same style as what he did with the what is it? The prologue with Joker and Batman with that 50 mil. And he's doing those, those really tight, medium close-up shots. And you could see it again in this film. And it's like, oh man, this looks good. Like this just looks a lot different. The fucking zombies are smarter and they're actually interacting and they're like still have that. Like to me, that's evolution of the character. You know what I mean? Instead of the mindless zombie that's gets boring over time.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, when we were when I was on Ryan's stream the other day and we were talking about, I said, "Yo, what he did for zombies with Dawn of the Dead, he's doing it again with this movie."
Yes.
As far as you know what I mean, just taking a step from like these slow dragging motherfuckers that are just like to like you know what I mean, just evolving them. And
It's the same like World War Z. What they were all fast and running around and all that.
But
well, it's not that. It's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, no, what you saw in like I Am Legend, but done much better.
Yeah. I would not say those are zombies in I Am Legend. I would say that was garbage in I Am Legend. I do not like I Am Legend. I will never reference that movie at all.
Really?
I like I Am Legend.
I like I Am Legend.
I absolutely have
CG.
Terrible.
Very strong.
CG was horrible, especially with their mouths.
I hated when the dog died. Spoilers. I was like, no, but I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
I still have a distaste for that movie, and it has nothing to do with Will Smith or the movie. It has everything to do with titling the movie
Batman
I Am
v
Legend
Superman
and
logo in the
never
background.
being I Am Legend. It's literally another movie with the title.
It's just a name. That's all it is.
That's fair.
Because I mean, it was based on the story. What Omega Man, I think it was.
No, the story's called I Am Legend.
The story's I Am Legend, but there's a movie made about it called Omega Man.
Yeah,
there's a movie with
what was why
Aston.
the last something, or I thought that was what it was sort of based on.
Why the last man?
Why the Last Man? Yeah,
Ray the Last Dragon.
But no, Ray was the last Skywalker.
What he did with zombies with Dawn of the Dead was like terrifying, right? What he's doing now is like, we got years of Walking Dead slow zombies. It's about time we get another change where we see not just fast zombies like what is the one with Brad Pitt? Somebody mentioned it. World War Z. They're not just fast; they're actually organized. And I thought that was very unique that he said that.
I wondered how they could be organized, but then also they're being blocked in or barricaded in by those things.
Who knows?
You're saying
maybe they want to be in. Maybe they're organizing themselves to build an army to attack later on. You know what I mean?
And that was one thing that really surprised me, and I wasn't expecting for some reason, was with the title Army of the Dead. I just always just kind of assumed like, oh, they're a horde of zombies, so they're just going to call an Army of the Dead, or maybe they're referencing the people that go in and pull off this heist and call them the Army of the Dead. But the fact that they actually have an army of zombies that are like organized, I was like, that blew my mind because again, I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. But I mean, it would make sense to a degree that you're taking human beings, and he's basically saying how like they're mentally basically reverting back to like this primitive type of thought process, but yet you still have an alpha who has his wife or his mate, whatever, and then they're the ones who are ruling over the others. Like, you still have that basic fundamental thought process that humans have, but now it's taking it back down to the most basic level. And I thought that was really cool, and the fact that Citrone is going to play Zeus, who is the main zombie, or if you want to call them, and that's what they are. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that nothing against Grace, but she was like, and you actually had a lot of stunt performers acting, and he was like, yeah, Richard. And if you guys haven't met Richard Citrone, dude, guy is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a pleasure to talk to, and he's so down to earth and so welcoming and just very relaxed. really great.
And to know that he got that role, that Zack put him in, and Zack even said, he's like, Rich has actually been in every one of my productions, so. Yeah. Which was awesome.
Yeah, I see comments about I Am Legend was about vampires. It wasn't about zombies.
Yeah. They were infected.
The concept was that the world becomes infected over this disease, but it wasn't even about that. It was about, what happens to civilization and man when everybody else starts to transform. So you have the night vampires, and then he realizes that there's day vampires. So ones that come out at night and ones that come out in day, and in the middle you have man, and he's pretty much the last one.
And then the movie kind of touched up on the idea of like,
no,
is he really the monster? I mean, it vaguely did in like kind of the alternate ending, but like, the whole idea is to like make it so where he realizes
I'm going to disagree. I'm strongly going to disagree.
I'm talking about the book was better. The book presented the idea of him being the monster because he killed all these different vampires.
Why is he a legend?
Oh, okay. So that I don't want to give away the book, but the book, gives you that impression that, he does question himself because he's talking to himself. He has no one to talk to. And he questions that, am I the villain of this story, or are they the villain of this story? And then he's always being tormented by his neighbor, Neville. And so it's kind of like this very humanistic viewpoint from a guy that's just slowly losing his mind and losing humanity and getting out of touch. So, and that's something Will Smith, if he could play the role, don't get me wrong, but I mean, that movie's not I Am Legend. That's like Will Smith in New York.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's one of the things with even Deadshot, kind of watered down Deadshot.
Yeah.
Because of Will
Smith.
Smith. Though. I mean, I'm sorry, but him having to show his face on camera for so long, I'm like, he could never have played Batman, because it's like,
we never seen the real cut. We don't know how long he shows his face for.
This is true.
This is very, very true.
Are you about to spill some tea?
I mean, there is a movie. I mean, we know that, right? And the movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, right? We're all snacking down on that. And then Army of the Dead's coming out. Everyone's going to snack on that. What are people going to snack on next? Nobody's going to watch the Nevers, right?
Matrix 4? That's trending. Is it trending? Matrix
You know what?
4?
I
Well,
wanna see
because
Matrix
Joss
4 'cause I was
Whedon
a
can't
Matrix fan.
advertise
Nobody
it.
cares about Matrix 4. Okay.
Nobody cares.
I do.
don't care.
I mean, I want to see it, but I'm not gonna,
I care.
I mean, Mortal
Andre changes
Kombat's
his
coming
tone.
out. That's
Mortal
gonna
Kombat.
change
I'm ready
everything.
for that.
Mortal
That's
Kombat,
gonna be
Mortal
great.
Kombat.
I sent you a link, Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, what's up?
Guys, I sent it to you.
So May 21st, Army of the Dead comes out on Netflix. I think it's going to be really, really cool.
I'm sure.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
And
I'm actually hoping a theater near me has it a week.
oh, I know. I wish I can see it in the theater. Although California, we're getting ready to open all the theaters. So if that happens in time and it's available,
Your theaters aren't open?
I don't know. Are they?
I live
haven't
in
checked.
California. My theaters are open.
My theater isn't open.
They're
Last time I
playing-
drove by, it's a temporary closed. I was like,
My
what is
theaters
it,
are-
like
my theaters are
Regal
open.
or something?
I don't know which one mine is.
If it's Regal, it's not open, but anything outside of that should be open. Like the
Really?
theater next to me is open. They just opened it and they're playing Godzilla Kong. And then I think the IMAX in the area said they have a poster for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which would be cool if they
What?
play it.
Yeah,
But
fire.
I
That'd
don't
be-
know if they're gonna play it
Wow.
because that's a Regal theater and that IMAX is owned by Regal. So I don't know if they're gonna play it.
But I mean, what about Godzilla versus Kong? I mean, did you see that one? And what did you think about Godzilla versus Kong?
It was fun. I mean, yeah, I love monster movies. I love those types of movies. I grew up watching them, and to watch this, I knew what I was getting into. I wasn't getting into a story with humans. I don't care about the human element. Just let me see Godzilla fight Kong, and let's get it on.
Like the build up to get to Kong, I was just like, come on, like when are we gonna actually see the monsters and like when are they gonna fight? And when they finally fought, it was a really cool fight. Obviously, it was a bit unrealistic on the aircraft carrier, and you know all those sailors died, and nobody cared. Everyone's just like, oh. Let's go! Like all these ships getting blown up, and it was like no one's like, "Oh my god, they just died." They're just like, "Oh shoot!"
Well, I mean, that's that's your entertainment,
They just
right?
brought them together like this, just bam.
In the car! I thought it was Robert from Bridging the Geekdoms.
Bridging the geek.
No, that's how I'm doing it right now. I'm driving home from work.
Awesome.
Nice. What's up? What's up?
What are you guys talking about?
Army of the Dead. Nicotina's phallus. I got Anthony. I love it.
I caught that part. I caught the part about the phallus. I like.
I love how we
I
caught
like
that
the
part.
use of the word. Yeah.
The use of the word.
It's good to know. It's good to
I
know.
mean,
that
you guys
caught
are trying to keep
one
with that
part.
poetry angle. Using that was a good one.
Right. So we like Anthony's, or not Anthony's, Andre's phallus to get to Dallas. That's
I like that. I like that.
There you
I
go.
like that.
Okay, I got
That's good.
it.
and yeah, that's
So
the
today-
title.
So today, one of the doctors I was working at, one of the nurses approached and was like, "Hey, what is the scientific and proper way to say masturbation?" And he's like, "Masturbation," and walked away from her. So that whole bit was just because she was trying to chart a patient who was complaining about this stuff, and he was like, "She's like, how do I say it nicely?" He's like, "Say the guy has problems with masturbation. Don't sugarcoat it." And I've been thinking about that all day, and just ridiculous, like for whatever reason, like people like having to chart this and then going into the chart later saying primary concern, masturbation concerns, and how no one's gonna be able to say that.
It's called penal yankdom.
Penal yankdom.
Ladies
Foreskin
and gentlemen, welcome to
yanking.
4Nerds. It just happens here.
They just
Great
became
game.
world's finest. Is what this became.
World's finest.
So are we diagnosing Nicotina's
Oh
loss
my
of balance?
god! I forgot about this.
Andre, we're here
Dallas
for you.
to Dallas. I'm good with that. Or Dallas to
dude.
Dallas. I'm good
It
with
would have been
that.
so fire if you would have had that ER intro thing where it's like.
No, it's more like what is that? Law and Order? Doom, doom.
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to figure it out. and
I
shit.
love
Yeah.
that.
Dun,
What was
dun.
it? It was in a hall pass. When it would signify each day that they were left home alone, it was like doom doom. Tuesday.
Like every day, Andre is missing his penis.
Oh
Dong,
my
dong.
god! You guys are fucking terrible.
But no, I mean,
You got Jacob Ludi, digging in as well. God, Jacob. That's...
no. Godzilla Kong was a great movie. I enjoyed it, but it's not something I'm gonna go back and watch again. You know what I mean? It's gonna be
Right.
something that's gonna take me a while to build up to again. I like Godzilla King of the Monsters more than I
Yes.
like Godzilla Kong.
Yes.
Yeah. The only reason I saw Godzilla vs. Kong again was because a friend of mine went with me to the movie theater, and we just had a good time and enjoyed it.
Did you like it more or less the second viewing?
I think both times were kind of the same for me, actually. I mean, both times I thought the human part of the story was kind of meh, but the monster fighting was pretty fun, and animation was great. So I mean, both I had the very exact same feeling, pretty much.
Yeah,
Do you feel it was better than Justice League?
No.
The numbers say otherwise.
I saw this.
I love how there was a Batman scene in that movie, you know, kind of when when King Kong was up on the building, like hiding from Godzilla, and then he jumps down like, "Whoa!" I was kind of like, well, this is kind of like a Batman scene. But then he ends up losing anyway. So
I saw something like that online. It was something I read that I guess people were comparing Batman v Superman to Godzilla versus Kong, and I'm sitting here. Why?
No,
okay, one.
The reason they did that is because the director did that. He took a pot shot at Batman vs Superman, saying that the reason why this movie is not BVS was because he had the luxury of having 3 films before it instead of 1 film. So he made that reference, saying that he didn't say it was as like an insult to Zack and his storytelling. He just said that he benefited from that, something that they didn't have the opportunity for, which kind of alluded to him saying that the studio caused it, not Zack.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that it leads back to that question, right? Because a lot of people misinterpret a lot of the things they read anyways. And so, you know, you can go on and speculate and people will say that Godzilla, Kong, or whatever was outshined Batman, Superman. But you're sitting here like, hold on, these are fucking monsters and these are humans. Like, in what world, why are we comparing the two?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would never put fucking Schindler's List next to Hall Pass.
Schindler's Nips.
You know what I mean?
No, you would put that one on there.
Yeah. Like, I don't plan on
a really
putting
good movie.
Indiana Jones next to fucking Star Wars.
Right. It's kind of trimmed me out that Taylor, wherever Taylor is at, is like still bright and sunny outside. It's like
I know.
really
Well,
beautiful
that's
for
how it is
me.
outside my house too, and probably for
It's
Matt
only
as
5
well. We're on the
o'clock.
West Coast. Yeah.
It's not that bright, but it's still light outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's light outside. I got lights.
It's dark for me.
You know, but Matt brings to a good point. Oh, go ahead, Taylor. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm about to park, and then I'm going to walk into my house and get on a computer so I don't look like I'm driving anymore. So I will be gone for 5
Just
minutes.
get rid of him.
He
Just
gets
get
into
rid
a
of him.
wreck right now.
Just get rid of him.
Whoa.
Let's hurry this show up before he gets here.
I know, right? No, you know, Matt had a really good point. You know, Matt was talking about, you know, people can put out anything and say it's the truth, and in reality, they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yes.
You know, one of the guys in general that has been kind of making himself known out there is a guy by the name of Mikey Sutton. He's been talking about a lot of different things that have been happening.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan, do you still have that picture?
Oh, you're talking about the picture that? Oh no, that was on my phone.
No, the one you pulled up earlier with Batman, Superman.
Oh, I do actually. Yes. So here it is. This. Okay. So this is what it was, and so we'd like to talk about this because this was definitely a big scoop. Boop.
What's this?
Let me see. Let me take that off. So we got the world's finest. You've got Henry Cavill teaming up with Pattinson, Robert Pattinson's Batman. So I mean, this is something that's definitely in the works. We've heard from these scoopers right here. What is your take on this breaking news from last year? This is last year's breaking news, roughly around, I want to say September, October.
Okay. I don't. Okay. So I have, like, this is a long, like, thing. I would have to break this down. So I don't have problems with people. I don't have problems with people want to report, but I do have problems when you do it in a way that doesn't report factuality. It reports speculation as facts. And then we get into an area where we're not even talking about the relevancy of these IP properties and what we love. We all love. We're all here. You guys are all nerds, right? Mm-hmm. You all love this stuff.
Name of the show.
Now, would you hate me if I told you that all these things were going to happen, right? And you come flocking to me, and then all of a sudden you find out, right, that they're not going to happen, right? You'd be like, well, you lied. You know, it happens a lot. People call them scoopers. again, I'm not a scooper, but what I do when I was the host of the LightCast is a lot of my focus was about looking into these sites and finding out why they do what they do. So I did it with Fandom Wire, and I spoke to a lot of writers at Fandom Wire that left that basically said, we'll write anything just to get clicks. Now, the reason for that is it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. So there's one site out there that everybody knows is not right, but we still flock to it, which is We Got This Covered, right? What I like about We Got This Covered, I'm not saying that they're credible. I'm just saying I like their statements, because they don't give a fuck if the shit's right or wrong. They will just put out anything and everything because they're trying to get everything covered. It's in their title. We got this covered. We'll put out everything. The problem that I have with a lot of this information that comes from like Mikey Sutton is the number one question I ask myself is, who is Mikey Sutton and why should I care? Like, everybody should ask themselves that question. So I asked myself that question and I went down a rabbit hole, and where I ended up is I ended up on the realm of like impossibilities, meaning there was nothing there at the end of that rabbit hole that I can say was credible. The only thing that I found that was really outside of this realm was the idea that this person knows how to make websites and he understands SEO traffic. So SEO traffic is what? Search engine optimization, right? So if I could put something online, I want to be the first thing on the top of the Google search. So if Anthony's typing up how to fix Nickatina's phallus, I want that first fucking thing to pop up on the top. Right? I want to be number one. And the problem that I have with that, right, is you now get into a realm of clickability where a lot of people say it's clickbait, but people don't really understand what clickbait is. What does it generate? What's the monetary value there? The monetary value there is if you go to somebody's website, for instance, right? And the first thing that pops up is a fucking screen that you can't even get to what you're trying to get to, and you get an optimization screen. That means they're already generating information that's already being sent to an advertising agency. That means you're getting what they call, which is like earns per click. So earns per click is every time you click on something, it doesn't matter if you click on the ad or you don't anymore. They're generating monetary value just for you showing up and driving traffic
on the
to
website or clicking
just
on the
clicking on the article. That's
just
all.
by showing up, you're paying them.
You're basically paying them 2 cents. It depends on the Google ad per that article. So if you click on, I want light monetary value, like light ads or medium ads or high ads, it doesn't matter what's in the article. It's what's driving me to go look at that article. Typically it's the headline. For instance, I've seen one where, and this is the best part. You brought up like they're going to join up with and we all want to see Snyderverse, right?
Right.
Yeah. But if I can profit off that and just start throwing out fucking articles every 2 minutes, people are going to drive that traffic because they're going to use your ethos, right? Your emotional connection to these properties to keep going to this site, to keep pulling these things up. That's what Screen Rant does. That's what a lot of other sites do that drive traffic. However, if you're a private owner of a website, all that monetary value goes straight back to you. You don't have to pay other people. So you can make like $10,000 in the month or a week, depending on how much traffic is being driven to your site. So at the end of the day, you're getting all this monetary value just off of clicks alone. You're asking yourself, is this shit real? Because last week you told me, I think one of the biggest things was they claimed something like Batfleck was going to be in the flashback story or something, that they're going to have flashback stories. And then a week later, they claimed that the Snyderverse was going to be erased. So which one is it? Which story are you sticking to? And now it's like, what, Henry Cavill is going to be part of this or it's going to be part of that?
There it is. So they're talking about this whole like multiverse league, where it's different superheroes from different Earths or whatever, and they're not so they don't have to use or they can cherry pick who they want to be a part of this said league or whatever. And then they're saying no, they're not going to do that either. So it's sort of like, you know, you're sort of saying both at the same time, both narratives. So one of them's right. You're covering all bases. So one of them's right. So but you're covering both, and you're being very I want to say disingenuous with
you're not being disingenuous. You can't be disingenuous if you never take a side. But what you can be is you can be sly. And the sly ability about all of this is, damn, Taylor, you were loud as fuck.
Hold on one second.
It's like you're moving into that room. It's not like you've been there and occupied it.
He pulled out a blender.
Yeah, he's got to
Hang on a second.
He's got to make his smoothie.
Shaken, not stood.
but in reality, yeah, like, so the scoops, right? We call them scoops. Not everybody is going to go out there. Like, I even give Taylor a lot of a hard time sometime when he talks about something that he has. I go out of my way and I ask him a lot of questions. I only stick behind sites that I can actually say that they actually have a purpose rather than there is no purpose. And you can kind of see through that purpose. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that Mikey Sutton's a bad guy or he's going out there. He's doing what he knows how to do. He knows how to work SEO sites. He knows how to work out, like, people call it algorithm. So when anybody uses the term algorithm, what they're saying is SEO. You're running algorithmic sites through a search engine property that gets you engagement. The more engagement that I get, the more clickability it is. You look at someone's site and you could tell right away, if they got more ads on that site, they're getting more monetary value back. I think there's a site out there called Small Screen that literally has fucking ads throughout the whole thing. Like, you can't even get to the first sentence without seeing an ad. Mikey Sutton, there's a couple ads there. So they're earning a pay by click, right? There's you know, there's a lot of cost to this, right? Cost per click or pay per click, whatever you want to call it. I think there's one that's like CPM ads or something like that. But if you get there and you look at their engagement, what they're doing is they're, in a way, ambulance chasing, right? They're picking up the hottest topic. They're adding a little bit of speculation to it to draw you back. It doesn't have to be true, and they're never saying that these are true. They're calling them scoops, and they're calling them speculation. They're calling them rumors, whatever you will. Guess what? Fans will eat that shit up. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. You're going to keep drawing yourself back. But when it's wrong, well, don't blame us. We're just the messenger. Hey, guess what? We have another article. We just put in this article. Go read that article. You know what I mean? And that's something that I actually bugged Taylor about. I was like, do you guys run SEOs on your site? And do you run, you know, ads on your site? And I mean, Taylor's here now, which is great because, I mean, he can answer that question. But at the end of the day,
we don't.
Okay,
so
well, thank you, Taylor. But we actually have footage of one of these outfits actually performing this, and we'd like to share that real quick.
Awesome.
With our audience. Yeah. So here it is, and so here you go. This is how they operate behind the scenes.
The Vice President and an alien have S&M sex. Sorry. My sources.
So there you have it, folks. That is exactly what they're doing behind the scenes, and we've seen a lot of people. I mean, that's a playbook that they're all using.
I'm not against it, and I think a lot of people. I just want to make that clear that I'm not against what they're doing, but what I am against is profiting off of people's emotions and moving it that way. Because a lot of people claimed I did that, right? And I would always respond, "What do I have to gain from this? There's nothing I gain from this."
Apparently, the only reason we do anything is because of clout.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
That's what they say.
Hold on.
Heard it here first.
There's actually something to that.
Go to here first.
So there's actually something to that. If you have high SEO engagement and you're starting off as a website and you're trying to get like viewership, you're actually trying to build clout. You're trying to get as much credibility as you can. So you're going to put that out there and try to build that up. Once you build that up, then you can drop ads everywhere, right? And you can build from that clout because people find you credible now. That's how Screen Rant started. Screen Rant started as a private website blog that built itself up to eventually being bought by Valnet, which eventually made it a monetary property that they can now profit from. And that is an overall like capital building, you know, like it doesn't matter what the article says or what's true about the article. Collider has done it. All these other blog sites have done it, and everybody wants to replicate that success. But now we don't even have to replicate that success. These people can be a one-man job, run a website, claim to be a scooper that has no backing anywhere, right? Like you have no insight anywhere. Like anywhere I've looked to research people, sometimes I always hit a dead end. With Mikey Sutton, I hit a dead end, and there's really the only person that would have that answer is Mikey Sutton. And I'm pretty sure if you ask the guy the real questions, he won't answer them. And I say that as a person that has been podcasting since 2013, right? Mm-hmm. If I ask him real questions, it'll be a dead end. It won't go anywhere. And I have asked questions, and when I ask questions, I gotta hold back on an email, basically telling me to stop. Basically telling me that, you need to stop your shit. You need to, one of his guys at Geekosity, I don't give a fuck what it was, because I asked questions and I got a resistance. And the resistance was pretty much telling me to stop. And I'm not a person you tell to stop. That tells me I should probably go deeper. I should probably go see what's going on in this rabbit hole, because it seems to be very shady.
On your excursion?
I've uncovered a lot of things that are pretty straightforward. Like they're just putting things out there, basically. And the best way to do that is, let's say each one of you guys have a show, right? Mm-hmm. I'll go to Anthony. I'm sorry, Anthony's over here. So I'll go to Anthony's show and I'll talk about my shit, right? From Anthony's show, I'll go to Dawson. And from Dawson, I'll go to Taylor's. From Taylor's, I'll go to Nicatina's. From Nicatina's, I'll go to Ryan's. Now, guess what? All you guys are talking about me. So now I'm a winner, because now you guys are going to talk about me and my shit, right? Then I'm going to go do it on other shows. Then I'm going to go try to do it over here. Now I'm going to be showing up on entertainment websites. Once I start showing up on entertainment websites, and I can start claiming that I was in these big websites, when in fact you weren't, you were just a mention through a rumor from another site. So you were never even the information. It was somebody else. Yeah. And that's how this information, just because the internet is the best way to describe the internet. The internet is an evolving content of layers and layers of information. Everybody wants to be the top one. Now, if you can cheat the algorithm, right, the SEO, you can make sure that your shit goes on top. So when someone types in Batman in the Flash, oh shit, this must be the one because it's number one on the list. I can click on it and believe everything that I see is real. I'm not going to really question it. I'm not talking about the 3% or 10% that question the information. I'm talking about the 90% that are going to take that information and spread it on their blogs and on their websites. And now look, I've now transferred this information with this person,
and that's how. Yeah, I mean, it's just rumors, gossip, and that's just how that's how it spreads. And unfortunately, even though they're making articles and things like that, the average person, the 90% that you're talking about, they're only looking at the headline.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they need to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
The Twitter generation, where they don't care about the contact, they just care about the small amount of characters and the headline, the byline. That's all they care about.
They want the headline to tell them everything.
And that's interesting because, like, when they look at the headline, a lot of these people will look at news and they'll think they're up to date and they know what they're talking about. It's like, oh, but this said this. It's like, well, actually, if you look into the article and click on it and read it, it said something completely different, but had somewhat of an inference leaning towards the idea it said in the title.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's a bad thing, but what it is it becomes misleading when you have a lot of people in a fandom that is so massive that can generate 1.5 million to an SEO ran website. This is what they see. They don't see the heart of a fandom. They see numbers. 1.5 million. If I can get 1.5 million to come to my site to click on this, which is, I think, one of the newest rumors that dropped was DCU Justice League to return, featuring members of something across the DC cinematic universe, right? Yeah, they're gonna, how the fuck would they know that? Like, even a scooper that might have gotten that information, or somebody that has really good inside information, isn't going to run that, because one, there's nothing happening. The only thing that happened was New Gods, right? And now we have the writer that wrote the original script of New Gods is now putting it out there. I promise you, there's going to be articles coming out about that and about scoopers saying this and this and this. They're ambulance chasing and adding context to what people want to hear, and then they'll backtrack it and add more context to what people don't want to hear.
They're also
they'll cover both sides of the story.
But they're also starved for content, right? Because like there's really nothing happening. There's nothing going on entertainment wise, coming out. There's really no productions going on that are like, earth shattering or anything like that. Like, they just canceled the New Gods. They just canceled.
But there's stuff that comes out every day, but we don't hear about it. And there's
right. stuff that I mean,
it's
I'm
not
just saying,
clickable. It's
not
not
clickable.
people. It's people aren't going to be driving traffic to know if Mad. I think what's his name? They just got cast for Indiana Jones.
Oh, Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Nobody. That's not being popped up on a lot of these SEO sites, right? Because it's not going to drive traffic. People don't care about Mads Mikkelsen for some reason, and I do. But I'm saying that the fan base out there is not going to care. So we're going to drive traffic on top keywords. So when you SEO site, you drop in keywords: Batman, Superman, DC, Snyderverse. These top keywords are going to get people to drive traffic, and they're going to start running. Your phones and your tablets and your Google searches are all going to run in that direction. And then you can just drop a Google AdSense on it. And I can just pick light, medium, heavy on where I want to add my ads. I'm making it sound really simple, but it's a little bit more complicated. But if somebody is good at that, you could make a lot of money just running a shitty blog website with paint as your background color and just say you have some cool information, and eventually it's going to pick up steam.
Yeah. And Taylor has something for us.
Well, I actually have to run. I just got a phone call from my wife, which is why I'm muted. Family things happening right now, unexpected. So I got to run, guys. I promise I will find some time to be on here for more than 2 minutes of awkward silence.
We appreciate
we'll
being
be
here.
joining Taylor again when he re-enters his car.
Yeah, when I get back into my car and I drive around town, then I'll be in. But no, what Matt's saying is right about SEO and how you can pretty much game the system just by knowing how to trick the search engines into seeing you first. It's very simple thing to do if you know how to do it. And if you have a WordPress site, you can literally go into the SEO editor underneath every post and modify what keywords that you want highlighted. And then you can also download WordPress plugins that do SEO boosters. So it's very easy to do. It's not a hard thing to get your shit to go viral very quickly. So much so that I've actually seen some people get so good at SEO where their dinky websites are getting more traffic, more Google notice, where their result will be number 4, and then Entertainment Weekly will be number 5.
Yeah.
And it's what the fuck is this? It's really not hard to do that, which is why these big outlets now hire SEO specialists to try to prevent that from happening. So,
you get the best SEO specialists out there. You can make anything. Even this podcast that we're listening to now on 4Nerds runs through Google, which is owned by YouTube. If you get a good person to run SEO, right, you go into the tabs, you go down at the bottom, go to the keywords and start adding and playing with all that. You could be number 1 in the Google. Even if you have 100 views, it doesn't matter about the views. It matters about how you're setting your optimization skills on the search engine to be brought up first.
Yeah, it's not the hardest thing to do. I mean, I think you can learn how to do it all in about a day, and then you can get good enough to where you can game the system, which is unfair to people who are actually doing hard work and actually have real information to go out, for people just to make shit up and then put their titles to be the most clickbaity shit on the planet, and then the internet runs with them.
Pretty much when you see somebody with 2-3 YouTube channels and they're trying to fuck the algorithm, what they're doing is they're fucking with the SEO, and they're actually using boosters for their shows or using strong algorithmic SEO tags that are actually boosting it. And sometimes YouTube will go in there and shut it down because they know that there's something false going on here.
And you'll see that
There's
happen
something
a lot. If you
misleading.
see certain shows where the host will here's my new channel, and then the next day something went wrong to my channel. Here's a new channel I'm jumping to. That's because they got caught and were getting shut down, and they got their notice saying you're going to get shut down by the end of the week, and then they made a new channel so they can prevent that. So watch out for people like that. I can't really think of anyone that comes to mind does that, but I've seen it happen. Back when I was with a different outlet, I saw people back in the early 2000s that were doing shit like that, the early mid 2000s, the early 2010s, where they were gaming the algorithm before the algorithm caught on to what they were doing. They're a lot faster at it now. YouTube doesn't stand for that shit.
Right.
No, they don't. They're a lot quicker at it. But all right,
guys.
Taylor, always fun to talk to you. But no, I mean,
Gone.
it's a shitty, because it sucks, because there's sometimes where I'll go and want to read something new, because to be honest, we're glad Taylor's not here. Now I can talk some shit.
Here we go.
Taylor's cool. Like Taylor's a cool cat, right? And Taylor's a cool cat, right? I like talking to Taylor, and I give Taylor a lot of respect because they don't run SEOs. I mean, I went into he gave me full access to his website to look at his information. That's how much he kind of gave me like editor privilege to go look at his SEO information to see if they actually run ads on their site. I actually did this I think 2 months ago. I actually did it because I was questioning him on, you're popping up on certain people's algorithms. And I'm like, how did you get up here? He's like, I don't know, maybe trending. I don't know. And, I looked and I saw that there was nothing. Like they leave it blank. So that tells me like, okay, they don't run ads. They don't do these things. And I'm not, but when I look at other people's stuff and I'll read these articles on We Got This Covered, I'm not naive. I'm going to still read it. But I know that when I click, I'm just telling people to make the conscious decision before you click. Think about what you're clicking on before you click, because every time you click, that's money that goes somewhere, or that's your information from your IP address that's being sent to somebody else. You ever go to Facebook and then you go to like Amazon and then you click on something and all of a sudden you see your how to get my penis back pops up on your Facebook.
You've been searching Nickatina's history. How did you do that?
Oh my God.
All right, we're putting him on blast.
That's it. Send me to Dallas. Send my phallic to Dallas. There it is.
I love it.
Dallas to Dallas.
We have a GoFundMe account because I'm broke as hell, and
actually the link is in the description. Direct link to the GoFundMe for Nickatina to go to the Dallas exhibit, where he will see most of us.
And here's the thing: is that I'm asking you guys for help because I'm broke as fuck right now, and I want to be able to meet Ryan and possibly Matt and Anthony. Not Dawson because he's not gonna make it out there, I guess.
But unfortunately, I can't.
But I want this opportunity to do that. I just, if you guys can help me do that, that'd be freaking awesome. But yes, and I want to see the exhibit as well. It's gonna be pretty badass.
Yeah, because he loves to see it, and this is the reason why. He's holding the lasso of truth, so anything he says is true.
No way.
Oh, dude, you know who you look like? That guy from that band. Was it Conehead and Cambria? Is it Conehead and Cambria?
Conehead and Cambria?
Yeah, was that the band I'm thinking of?
I think so.
Yeah, you look like that dude.
Look at his pecs.
They're huge.
That's impeccable. This is more like it though. This is a little bit more like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, Dawson looks so real in that picture. It looks like he really did it.
He's like, I'm wearing a bra on my hat.
Oh man. What was her name? What was Steven Seagal's wife's name?
Mrs. Seagal.
No. Who played the creation of Weird Science? Steven Seagal was married to her.
Wow, really? Because man, yeah. I used to love her.
Oh, she was the main actress, right?
Yeah, she played the creation.
I can't.
She was
remember.
also in I think she was also in Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser. Was that her?
No,
that wasn't her. I thought that was. Hold on.
Kelly LeBrock. That's her.
Yes.
Somebody. Hey, thank you, Steve. Steve.
Of course, Steve knew that one, right? Steve's like, oh,
yeah. And TW came in right after. So yeah, they're pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, and unfortunately, TW, you were second. So Steve, you just won 2 free passes to go see. No, I'm just kidding. TW's like, wait, what?
Okay, no, okay. So Liz Hurley
was Liz Hurley.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
That was Bedazzled. Yeah.
Let's see. I want to see remake of Dawson and Nickatina. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome.
That'd be good. I would love it. I'd be down.
But I mean, okay. So I can't show them without showing these. Here you go. So no Lantern news shall escape my sight.
We can all read.
You heard it here first. This
look how big his head is, dude.
Yeah, look at his head. I mean, Sinestro has a pretty huge screen.
He looks like a Megamind.
Yeah.
A spider.
So this is he just got
One bite from Arachnus Deathicus will instantly paralyze.
Hey man, that's my
he just
favorite
got out
part
of
that movie.
shul.
When he said it, oh dude,
My
that
old
spider,
shul house.
The spider joke is the funniest shit in that fucking movie.
But then he's like, "Hey, you guys!"
no.
Nah, dude, you should have put Taylor's face on fucking Chunk right there. Man.
Oh, yes. I've got to do that. Oh my god, I've got to do that.
You gotta do it right now.
I was like, I'm gonna put it on. Like, be like, got any scoops?
I just hate that word now.
I like that one. That was funny.
Nerf herder, guilty as charged.
He looks like he's drunk too. He's like, yeah, what's up?
He does. He does. And then you got this right here. Prepare to meet Ali in hell.
Oh shit.
And then, okay, Dawson, you can read this one.
She turned me into a newt.
I think that's my favorite one.
The Black Knight always wins.
I love that.
I literally was wearing a Monty Python shirt at work today, and nobody said anything. I was highly disappointed.
I like that part where when he goes, "What is your favorite color?" He's like, well, "That's easy."
Wait,
No, blue. Wait, no red. Ah! He couldn't even answer it truthfully.
oh my goodness.
Or when they come to the cave and they're like, "Wait, what is that?" It's a rabbit. Oh, that's nothing. And he fucking tears them all apart.
Oh gosh. Oh, so Matt, I did want to ask you something. We've talked about this in messages this past week. So HBO Max put out a video on their YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a commemorative video about the Snyderverse, or I guess what they called the Justice League Trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
fire trailer, but
yeah, the trailer was good.
But there was implications about that, like suggesting like, oh yeah, like this is the completion of Snyder's movies with the DC universe. What are your thoughts on that implication of that video?
It was a cool little trailer to show that HBO Max has Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League on HBO Max. You can go watch. You can go watch the trilogy right now, but they're not. You know, a trilogy doesn't mean that it's the conclusion of something. It's just three. You know, it's just a story of three things put together. It's not the conclusion of anything. You know, it's not saying that it's the conclusion. It's just saying, hey, look, this is a trilogy. Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, you know, but for them to still market it, think about it.
During a time where we're thinking it's over or it could be over, and
if it was over, they would not be marketing this movie.
Right? Exactly. And Jesse Allen's got a good point. He says, but no footage from the Snyder Cut. How was that a trilogy video? It didn't show any footage from Zack Snyder's Justice League. It just showed BVS, Man of Steel.
It's promoting BVS and Man of Steel. It's not saying that like, oh my God, if that was the truth, then Zack Snyder would have said it on Grace Randolph, or he'll say it this weekend at JusticeCon. We're done, guys. Let's go home. Let's not talk. But he's not doing that. He looks happy as fuck. Like that guy looks happy. He's got the zaddy beard on and everything. And
especially when he talked about his experience working with Netflix. Like, I mean, he talked about how like they didn't mess them at all, and like how he got full reign of what he could do. Like, he seemed very, very happy with that. So
well, they were smart. They were like, "Hey, we're going to bring you in here to make this movie, and you can do whatever you want."
But this is the best. This is the best thing. This is the best thing when people say this, right? This is like because they're saying that like, oh, they're poaching him. They want, Netflix is going to take him from HBO Max. Okay, hold on. How many directors have directed for Netflix?
There's been several.
Martin Scorsese comes to mind.
Right.
And does Netflix own Martin Scorsese?
Right. No. People seem to think it's like free agency in the NBA and NFL.
You know what I mean? It's like they're not give him a contract and say this is exclusive. Everything you make will be at Netflix. No.
He's $40 million Netflix shirt all time.
So Zach owns a company called
I'll
Stone
trade
Quarry.
you Joss Whedon.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants him. Not even Gal Gadot wanted him.
His contract is terminated.
She wanted to end the curse. So I'm sorry,
no!
the course. But you know, the reactionary response from fans saying that they're poaching him, or anybody writing articles saying that they're poaching him or they want him. It's like, yeah, they want him to do projects, but they don't want to fucking keep him and lock him in a closet. I mean, no artist is going to be like, yes, keep me in one spot because that's where I want to live. No, nobody does that.
Right.
Like, you know, they can go around. Like Patty Jenkins is doing a Star Wars project with Disney. Oh, and she's doing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
How fucking ironic is that, right? Like, people need to kind of
Well, it's the same
open their
thing.
eyes.
I mean, also, we're live right now. James Gunn, Suicide Squad. Then he's going to do Guardians 3. You know, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's business.
And Zack
like,
owns
you can't
Stone Quarry.
jump from Marvel to DC. You can't do that.
But they're talking about IP properties, right? So the IP property that Netflix wants is Army of the Dead. So anything Army of the Dead is going to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
And anything DC related is going to be with Warner Brothers, DC Films, and HBO Max. You know, like, it sucks that Warner Brothers gave up Army of the Dead because that shit looks amazing. That shit looks fucking, in the words of Anthony, fire.
Doesn't
right?
surprise you though. Doesn't surprise you that they did that.
It does not surprise me at all. And he
No,
even dropped
surprised
that
me
he
either.
pitched the idea to Warner Brothers, and they were like, no,
We don't like making money.
That's-
So we'll
that's-
pass on that one.
that's too edgy. I don't know.
Too edgy. Did you
we sell
see
bed
that?
sheets?
Did you see all the knives on Steppenwolf? That was weird.
Wait, a zombie tiger? What the heck? No one wants to see that.
He
These
looks like
zombies
Two-Face.
stink. Hey, haven't y'all seen The Walking Dead?
Well, Aaron Johnson, or is it Aaron Michael Johnson? I think it's
Aaron Taylor
pronounced different.
Johnson.
There it is.
No,
no,
the writer of
Taylor
New God.
Thomas.
Oh, that's
Aaron Michael.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Michael, right?
Oh,
Johnson
yeah.
is his last name. I just want to make sure I get
I
his
was
name
way off.
right.
Michael
base, sorry.
Jordan.
You know, it was nice to see, you know, Jonita do that interview, and it was a one-on-one
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
him to
no, it was
finally
great.
talk about it, because
Yeah.
he's always talked about it on his show, but for him to actually give the details of what actually happened. And we did, I know, Ryan, you were talking about reaching out to him. We did reach out to him the day of the interview and try to get him. He, you know, he's gonna get on with us eventually when he's able to get on. He has, you know, there's a lot of things behind that, you know, he can't go out and say publicly, I guess. But when he's available, we do want to do a follow-up with him and do follow that up. And I know everybody wants to talk to him now. I mean, his mentions are blowing up out of the roof because his concept for his New God script and what he was talking about, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, my mind just went bloop. Like, you planted that in my brain. I want to see more Steppenwolf. I want to see more Desaad. I want to see Big Barda. I want to see Darkseid.
Orion, Mr.
I want to see
Miracle, yeah.
Orion, Mr. Miracle. I want to see all the Furies. I want to see them
Yes.
all interact with each other and show the events of Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder's Justice League, what was going on at that time and what all led up to this moment where, you know, we see that scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League where Desaad tells him that you betrayed, you know, the holiness of Darkseid. You know, like, that is, like, he has that script, right?
You
he worked on
betrayed the
that.
holy phallus.
So it's
Send it to Dallas.
wait, you can
Send the
say
phallus to
phallus?
Dallas.
You can
Yeah,
say phallus?
You can send what?
You
You
can
can say?
You can send his phallus. What?
No, he can say phallus. I thought Dawson doesn't cuss.
I don't cuss often. I just,
Oh,
Is
changing the
phallus
rules,
a
huh?
cuss
I like
word?
it.
that's
I
not
thought it was
changing the rules. No.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here. See, nobody cares.
You're right. Nobody cares.
I love that angle that he gave you.
New rules, sir. We've always been criminals, Alfred.
yeah.
Should do that with Dawson. New Dawson? I've always cussed.
Always cuss.
If I get like really upset, yes.
Oh, I got to get you really upset. I want to know.
No,
what
we
got
got
to
to really piss him
No,
off.
you-
If I feel like if I pissed off Dawson, he'd be like, "You mother bitch."
Yeah, he does that.
He'll say something real
And he
bad.
bleeps
You're like,
himself. He's like, "You fucking bad, you know, it's like, oh my god.
By the
he's
way,
so
Jesse,
angry.
Jesse Allen is a liar. Just let you know right now. Jesse Allen is
I
a
love it.
straight up liar.
I love
I
it.
have never heard Dawson say that word. I've heard him say freak a lot.
Really?
Even on the phone.
Okay, this guy right here, I've heard him say that word.
No, you have not.
I've heard you say that word.
You're an absolute
I
liar.
have heard you say that word.
Exactly.
You have absolutely not.
I have heard
Exactly.
you say that word.
Exactly. what you were-
I have heard you say that word, sir.
No, you haven't.
Earlier, what you a few minutes ago, how'd you say you sounded? You were like,
Like, you
and then it just bleeds into bop by fucking Hanson and shit.
Oh, look at TW. TW's going right after Dawson right now. That's
What?
not cool, TW.
What is that?
Oh, he's saying Broncos are terrible. Manning's nothing compared to Brady.
Where did
Hey,
that come from?
How about you give Peyton Manning,
It
Bill
was-
Belichick, and Randy Moss and see how many Super Bowls he would have gotten?
It was actually off the air and on the phone, and it wasn't this month. It was not this month. It was.
You are still a liar.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, look,
I like how you brought up Hanson. Who brought up Hanson?
ACS.
That was it. You brought up Hanson. My guilty pleasure is watching Masked Singer. I watched The Masked
Oh
Singer,
my god.
okay.
and that's my thing. It's just my guilty pleasure, and I think Hanson's on there. I think they're the Russian dolls, but Dawson,
Probably.
you do look like one of the Hanson brothers. bro.
Wow. All right.
That's a compliment, man. Like they're some pretty good looking dudes.
I just don't know who they are. So I just don't know how to take that.
How do you not know who they are? I don't understand that. Bob.
One of the funniest things I've ever
thought he was
seen.
Canadian.
So nice. I thought it was
Wow, Muhammad.
Canadian. That's pretty on point, eh?
Hey, Strange
Look at Snyder
You hit it
Steppenwolf.
pretty clce to the mark.
He's trying to go after him. Snyder Steppenwolf. He goes, BBS is
Joey,
trash,
Joey.
Dawson. Oh no. He's trying to get under your skin.
Oh, he's trying to get it.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that's what you're trying to do, cause
You about to get clapped, son.
Yeah, yeah. For real.
Oh,
He's
Dawson's
like,
gonna
I'm
clap,
gonna clap
some
those
cheeks.
Bop.
bop, bop, bop.
Katsuka's like, I got Dawson the curse in Japanese.
Well, yeah, because he put in a Japanese cuss word in the chat, and I was trying to read what he said so I could, be courteous and read someone's comment.
Courteous.
Courteous.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we know Dawson does swear behind the scenes.
Yes.
In his darkest.
when he's pulled to the dark side, you could tell.
Well, hey, at least I can find my penis.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
There it is. Send me to Dallas, everybody. Go fund me. The links in the chat or the links in the description. Send it is in the chat too. Help me get to Dallas so I can meet Ryan from Zeeverfett, ACS. Hopefully Matt. Although I have a feeling Matt, we're like, Matt, where are you? He's like,
yeah.
he just ghosts us. He's like, yeah, I'm on the flight right now, man. I'm on my way.
I'm on the flight. Yeah.
I wouldn't even fly. I would just drive.
Oh, there you go. There
Wow.
you go.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd
I'll
be cool.
drive.
Road trip. Yeah.
I love road trips, man. I'll be on the road.
That's what we did a lot growing up. My dad hates
This
to
guy
fly.
likes
He
road
hates. Holy crap, that was loud.
I didn't make the clip.
But no, my dad hates it when anybody else is in charge of a vehicle, so he hates flying. So we always drove everywhere.
Damn this pilot! Who do you think he is?
We'd be living in Texas and we'd drive all the way to Virginia to visit my grandparents.
Fly,
And,
yes. Land, no.
Where we're going, we don't need
roads.
Well, that's. I know a lot of people are asking a lot of questions. Is there like any particular questions that people want me to answer? Because I know a lot of people were asking them in the beginning, and I don't want to. Oh my god, that is too fucking dead on.
Dead on, dude.
Well, I
Who
know
did
that. Oh, that was Ryan.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, I'm the one that does all these. So
I know that some
nerd.
people in the chat have been asking about the Batflick series for HBO Max.
Yeah.
I know it's been asked a couple of times because, again, with a bunch of people freaking out over the whole
Use a credit
trilogy
card.
video. I don't. is because you guys been talking about this for a while, how it's going to be happening and how Ben Affleck's like they're already like scouting locations and such.
Mhm.
Is there anything new on that front, or is that just still the plan right now for them to do that sometime in the future?
I mean, there is stuff new on that front, but a lot of the stuff I can't answer just because, it's just a lot of people want a little bit more information about that, and things are like moving and things like that, but it's not like something that I can just openly talk about, or it's not something I want to talk about it. Trust me, I want to fucking just say it, but it's stuff that I guess would kind of precede or kind of interfere with what they're working on. And it's like, sometimes you get to the point where it's too early to say it, or it's too early to put something out there. And I rather not put something out there that I can't actually take it back and say, shit, I probably shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? But I can't say that, the things are still moving forward. It's not like something that is, it just disappeared. It's not like something that we're saying it's not happening. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that like, oh yeah, we're going to backpedal on this. No, fuck no. It is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn. Is that Anthony? Go back to that one.
That one's a good one too.
It is.
That's a really good one.
Oh shit. It took me a second. I was like, that's not Nickatina.
All right, let me jump in here and see if we have some questions. Let me see. They want to know about air cut, I guess. Here we go. Jesse, I think he likes air cut. Maybe, I don't know.
Get this damn thing off the screen. I mean, come on.
I know, dude. I don't have a red. I don't have a red or blue.
All right,
I don't have a red or blue.
That's the best one. He's got no.
Don't make you horny, baby.
You're like the teeth. You look like a fucking dwarf.
I have no neck, man.
A dwarf.
He's got no neck.
That's a dwarf.
Oh man.
Let's get to the questions. Let's get to the questions.
You should make Anthony the other one.
Okay, yeah. Getting back to the questions. Let me see. Here we go. Snyder715 says, "Man, I have a question about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Did Zack cut down the history lesson? Because I swear it was supposed to be 20 to 30 minutes long. And what happened to the scene of Desaad from the DC Fandom trailer?"
It was a lot longer, and they did cut out some things. There was a little bit more from that was supposed to be shown. Like Zack said, he still had to make cuts. He was working off a 5-hour cut, and he had to cut things out to fit the format, the film he wanted us to all to see. But it doesn't mean that a lot of those things won't be shown later. I mean, he has Green Lantern footage still, you know what I mean? But yeah, things are still going to get cut from time to time. And I guess he cut some parts out of the history lesson. Because I know that some of them were supposed to have lines, and they actually performed those lines. So,
but here's a question for Andre.
Well, I do want to ask about that real quick, about that scene.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Because when you, of course, Zack was trying to format everything and get it to where, they could, get it all in the movie. But my question is, if he had to cut things down, was it forced? Because the scene with Desaad in the trailer, or I guess in the trailer, that's money and time being spent making that shot of Desaad, right? And so I wonder if he planned on using that, and Warner Bros. Just said, "Oh, we got to cut this down," or something like that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of the times they're just working takes, so they'll take a take that they're not going to use, and they'll process it and see how it works. Or it could have been an actual, take that they were going to use, but they cut it last minute because to fit budget time, or to fit times, not really budget, or they had it was a budgetary issue where we can't continue working on this scene if we're not going to use it. For example, the scene where Jared Leto says, we live in a society, you can see that they stopped working on that shot because they weren't going to use it for the film.
Right.
So, that might have been one of those shots where they decided, you know what, we're going to use the other take. We're going to go in this direction and not use that one.
Yeah.
So Barcy has a question for you. She says, "Why would the actors continue if they might be erasing the Snyderverse if they love Zack?"
Who said they're erasing the Snyderverse?
Right. That's just the narrative that people are spewing out.
Again, ask yourself this number one question. Why would, and this is one of the biggest things, right, is if Ray Fisher is going out there and saying, "I would still love to be in the Flash film because I spoke to, Andy Muschietti, and I love what they're doing. And there's still hope that he can possibly still be in this film, right? The Flash film. I mean, you're hearing a lot of other actors drop out and a lot of other things happening behind the scenes where they're making it look like a mess, when in fact a lot of that information wasn't even going to happen anyways. And the only thing that we know that is concurrent is that pretty much, Ray Fisher's not in the film from everything that's been gathered, but he can still possibly be in the film. It's not like something that they only need him for 2 weeks. We already know the deadline for him, 2 weeks. So he can easily pop in and do his 2 weeks. And
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Pop out, right?
2 weeks from anywhere.
2 weeks.
It all comes down to budget, right? Are they going to pay him? Are they not going to pay him? That's what it really seems to come down to. And the comments he made to Hamada, which from what we understand, Hamada still hasn't apologized to the rest of the cast and crew for what happened in 2017 and things like that. But it gets back to this idea. If Ben Affleck was going to return just to get erased, why the fuck would he come back? He already erased himself out of the 2017 one.
He's already done. He's already had his farewell. Why would he come back?
That's a logical question to ask yourself. Why would an Oscar-worthy actor and director come back to play a role just to be erased again? That makes no sense. That logic and that story and that narrative makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So Rel McMillan has a question for you. He says, I have a question for Matt. I know he's a martial artist. How many years did you spend in your discipline?
I've spent 13 years studying Chinese kickboxing and Muay Thai. And then I've spent 6 years studying Sanda, which is Sansho, which is Chinese. This one's actually pretty cool. And I think if you're into martial arts, I think, Anthony, you do martial arts, right?
No.
No,
I know that
does martial arts. Somebody does.
I did martial arts when I was a child.
Andre performs sauna.
Oh, okay, I know that one.
I did taekwondo.
I took taekwondo in like first grade.
Okay, taekwondo, perfect.
That's
so
that's
Sanda,
the best one right there.
So Sanda, I did for 6 years, and Sanda I've done for 6 years, which is it's similar to taekwondo, but it's the Chinese version where there's hip tosses and throws and takedowns from the stand-up position.
Mm-hmm.
So you're adding in an extra layer of takedowns, almost like jujitsu, but you're doing it from standing up.
Yeah.
My gosh, Ryan, stop!
Right, enough.
Yeah,
What?
man.
No, we're just talking.
Literally, we have people in the chat saying stop.
Just on me.
I don't care. I'm still doing it.
He's like,
So,
what time it is?
Yeah, you know what time it is? Barcy, you should no, look at it. Laughing emoji. Okay, I'm back to it. So anyway,
the only
continue.
thing I've done close to that is when I was in the army, I did a combative course, and that's pretty much it when it comes to that. That's about as much as I can.
Yeah, combative courses. Yeah, like they teach you like straight grappling, right?
Yeah.
How to get out of a grapple. I did jujitsu, but it was never anything that resulted
Oh my
in.
god!
Damn, dude. I'm fucking done.
Get that shit off the screen.
You're right.
I ready to see that in the previous one. My god. Oh man.
That shit caught me off guard. I've seen it 1,000 times and it just caught me off guard. Legit caught me off guard for real.
He's so proud of his images.
I am. They're so funny to me. Even now, they're still funny.
Even
now.
All right. Is there more questions in the chat?
Yeah,
that you want to ignore?
I'm not ignoring anybody's questions. I'm looking for question marks. And if they don't end in a question mark, they're not a question. So
I mean, I know
numerous questions in here.
I know someone asked about haircut, but what particular do you want to know about haircut? Because there's stuff I can say and there's stuff I can't say.
Here we go. So he's saying, did you see Borat mention Snyder? Go what?
Oh my God.
Okay. So what? Hey, did it end in a question mark?
It's true.
You got one from Katsuka.
Dawson is Equinsuocha.
What?
Yes, he is. Okay. Equinsuocha. That's this one. That's what he's referencing. Is did you just call me white?
Oh god!
Look at TW coming through, dude.
And the guy, the tribal guy's like, it's how they know you.
They know you.
So Matt, as far as the air cut, I think maybe I can try to expound on the question.
Tuna.
So obviously we've heard from you and Taylor that's going to happen at some point. But we also know that David Ayer really respects James Gunn and wants his movie to have, its moment in the spotlight and everything. He doesn't want to take away from it.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe I've asked you this question before, maybe just to elaborate, what would you expect the timetable for the air cut to be as far as it coming out?
Like a speculative timetable?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I was a smart producer, right, and I worked in HBO Max, and I know that the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad is going to come out this date, and I have a buffer to drop David Ayer's Suicide Squad before that film, I could perfectly set that movie up with this movie. Right? Or to play it smart, I would let this film have its day and then drop it directly after to say, hey, if you like this movie, we can attach this one to it.
And personally, I think that they would want the new film to sort of have its day, like you said, and just sort of like, don't put the air cut in there. Like that might be, it might be just as good as, or the same difference between Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, that stark difference, and then release the Suicide Squad. And they're like, this is really not palatable.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at it this way, like if you drop it before, you're going to have people say, I want more David Ayer's Suicide Squad, or you're going to have people saying like, damn, that's some shit. I like that. That was that R-rated stuff, a lot darker, a lot, you know, what we should have gotten. And then you let David Ayer or James Gunn Suicide go, right? Or you drop the Suicide Squad, let that film have its day, and then drop it after. Regardless of the fact, the film is pretty much coming to its completion, and it's going to be ready for release at some point. But again, it was always intended to come after Zack Snyder's Justice League, is what we were always saying, is that it was never going to come before, because that would never make sense. The tent pole was Zack Snyder's. It was always going to come after.
Right. So we have Sean C says, with Andy Muschietti being the guy to cast the role as big as Supergirl, does this speak to what role his DC is going for? Yeah. Not a fan of either It film. I'm so apprehensive in his involvement.
Andy Muschietti. I like Andy. He's a funny director and he's a good guy. It just sucks that he's in this situation where he's being directed to make a film that he wants to make, and now is being told you can't make that film because of all these things. But I didn't get the X to that question because you took it off the screen.
Oh, sorry. There it is.
Does this speak to what his role will be in the DC going forward?
Like his role as the director,
cast a role as big as Super. We don't know how big the Supergirl role is. Do we know this is the Supergirl from this world or another world that we might most likely not see? Is this Supergirl connected to Henry Cavill's Superman or a Superman in another world?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we simply don't know what world she comes from, but I mean, I would imagine she's from a different world altogether, a different universe. So.
But mentioning Andy Muschietti, I think the funniest thing I saw regarding him was, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live and Hot Rod and everything. So there's this compilation of different impressions that he does, and one of them he does Andy Muschietti, and and he's like, gotta be like Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze. It's like Swayze, you idiot. Anyway. That always cracks me up.
What ballpark can Matt give us on any announcements regarding hashtag Restore the Snyderverse?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be before Army of the Dead, because that's like Zack's focused on that and making sure that that's a success.
Yes.
But what has he got after that he's working on?
The animation, the prequel.
No, talking about films. I'm talking about animation films. Some of those are already done. The series for Army of the Dead, the Lost Vegas, that's already done. Like, that's complete. The foreign film to his prequel to Army of the Dead, the one that was made in, I think, Germany, that one's completed too. So these are all ready to drop.
Okay, wow.
See what I'm saying? So what's coming next down the road? You're going to think about that. Because things in Hollywood, a lot of people say they happen every day. They do. But at the same time, a lot of these things they plan ahead of what they're going to do in advance. So when that time comes, they can adjust. So DC fandom is definitely going to be a big thing this year because it was such a success last year. They're going to capitalize on that this year.
And so,
go ahead.
With that, you said that Zack wants to make sure that attention doesn't get taken away from Army of the Dead and everything.
Yeah.
So with that, I know I actually read an article today. I can't remember exactly what source it was, but it was referencing Justice Con this weekend, of course, featuring the Nerd Queens and all those people who were hosting those panels and all those guests.
Yeah,
and
Wonder Meg. I can't wait. Wonder Meg's I can't wait for her.
Yeah.
Panel.
And they were speculating that Zack might bring something in regards to Justice League. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of leaning more towards the idea of like bringing like the Green Lantern clip or whatnot. But like people also think like, oh, maybe we could have like announcements regarding the Snyderverse. How likely do you think it would be for him to bring something regarding the Snyderverse and its future at Justice?
Maybe a conversation, but I don't see anything in regards to like saying
like no news dumps.
He can't. I don't think he can. And if he does, I know a lot of people out there probably don't like my answer to that. But he could probably bring a special guest.
Yeah.
All right. So this question right here, I'm just gonna say we're probably gonna get extras. Like Dawson was alluding to the Green Lantern thing that was already shot. He might release that or extras on like the 4K release. But as far as
I would definitely say that, 4K release, there might be a few extras or behind the scenes. That's what a lot of people want to see, is that because fans love that stuff, right? And I loved his interview with Grace Randolph where he talked about gatekeeping and how he specifically mentioned how the Comic-Con era, right, with the comic book culture that was built around that genre at the time, was gatekeeping a lot of stuff and was telling people what they like and don't like. Well, fans are the ones. I love how he makes that differentiation. He differentiates between the two, because I've said it a lot, is that the fans are the ones paying this price. Yeah. Why do we care what some gatekeeper thinks about what they want and what they think we want, rather than just let the fans speak for themselves? Because now the internet is such a utilized tool. We make more content than these gatekeepers do. So let the fans decide what they want. And I think he makes that very strong, valid point. And if Warner Brothers is smart and HBO Max is very smart, and I don't agree with the hate that HBO Max is getting or people attacking Jason Kilar. Like, you guys need to ease off. Like, seriously. Like, you guys are rushing to the finish line without knowing where the finish line is.
Yeah.
Seriously, just have some patience, show a little bit of reserve, and show some respect too. Like, like there's other projects on this platform that people have worked really hard on to get these projects out there, but you got to have a little bit of patience to understand that things are working out. And Zack had even said it in his interview, like, these people trust me to take them to the finish line. I want to do these things for them because they trust in my vision. They want to see that thing. They want me to take them over the edge. We're tired of these comic book movies, right, that barely scratch the surface. We want the ones that literally show you what these books are all about. And I'm all for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, he also mentioned too. He says, these other comic book movies, they don't want to challenge you. They're afraid to challenge you, and his films are not
challenging.
But yeah, I love how he brought that up, and I love how he brought up the gatekeeping as well. There's a lot of cool things that you can pull from that interview that says a lot about his character.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Gatekeeping sucks. Okay, so any chance on a possible revival on that New Gods film with the original script?
No.
All right.
They're already moving fast enough. They cut. And the thing about the New Gods script is that we've been saying it for a while. There was not going to be an Ava New Gods happening because they didn't have anything worked out. So what we were hearing for a long time, and I could probably say this now, is that the New Gods script kept falling apart is because they didn't know which direction they wanted to go with, right? It's great to finally hear Aaron talk about his script because, like, that sounds fucking amazing. Like, I've never heard the script. I've never read it. I want to read it. It sounds fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. But the one that Ava and all them were working on, from what I understand, were bits and pieces of different elements that they must have taken from different scripts, and they couldn't figure out how to do it. Yeah. And they were never greenlit to make the project. They were only hired to do a spec script and do a treatment.
Right, a treatment.
Get that ready, because you got to have a director and you got to have a producer to back it if you're going to get it greenlit. And that's pretty much kind of, there was no script. So how are you going to work with nothing? Or we're going to have another Green Lantern 2011 situation.
Where you're literally writing the script as you're shooting.
Yeah.
This is working. It's a good thing we're shooting linearly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Linearly.
Yeah. So
linearly.
Do you think that we'll ever get any numbers announcements? They'll share that data with the public?
No. They have the numbers, and trust me,
yes.
when you hear announcements for future projects within the Snyderverse, you know their answer. They're not going to drop numbers. They're just going to let people go with it from now on. The numbers are pretty valid and clear. It was great. If you look at the telltale from Zack's, when she dropped that 1.5 million tweets and his eyes lit up, like, yeah, those are great numbers. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a tell in a way that the numbers that were being given from the analytics I'm not talking third-party sources. I'm talking direct source.
Mm-hmm.
They're high because we're talking worldwide, engagement on this property.
And I guess a personal question for you is how is your PhD coming along?
It's going along. I'm actually having a little bit more free time to myself this week, but it's going to be picking up a lot by next month. That I'm literally going to be all this hair is. I'm already going gray, by the way.
He's looking like Bruce Wayne.
I'm gonna look like fucking Anthony by the end of this year.
Wow.
What?
He's done.
I still have fucking hair on my shit.
No, Anthony, that's called your head. That's called your head. You have hair.
Oh wait,
on
go
your
back.
head.
Is that Man of Steel? What number is that? I have that.
Which one?
That one right above you, the Superman one.
Oh, that was drawn by Whatnot.
Yeah, that's Why Not. See,
Why Not?
Yeah.
I have that. What?
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
Whatnot is the name of the Muppets line.
I actually have that issue. That issue.
He's illustrated. Yeah, that's off his
Whatnot.
He's bringing to.
Fucking
I
love
love
it.
those things. All right, so Matt left us. All right, so let me go back.
I'm right
to
here.
the,
Don't worry. Don't.
Isn't the air
Look,
cut?
he took his mic with him too.
Yeah, I can roll it.
The air cut, 2.5 hours. What say you?
What's are you saying that's how long it is?
Well, that's what David Ayer said.
There's a question mark behind
David Ayer
that.
said that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know the exact time of it, but I do know it's a lot longer. But it's not about the length of the film. What it came down to, it's the tone of the film. So the tone of the film is completely different than anything that has been seen before.
Anthony was like this. So
yeah, exactly.
Will we ever see the new gods in the future?
He said no.
There we go. Here you go, Anthony. I knew I had it.
There it is.
Hey.
The only thing he changed.
That's from 1980. What?
He put Henry's face on there.
Yeah.
Well, no, he also changed the look of the.
He
shuttle
put the.
as well.
Yeah, he changed the shuttle too.
Yeah, to the one from Man of Steel. Yeah.
Yeah, I love why not shit, dude. He does amazing stuff.
What not? Thanks,
I said why
Ryan.
not.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, this is a good one. 75 cents.
Why not actually did the artwork for Justice Con?
Yeah, he did.
Up this weekend. It looks really good.
I'm definitely getting one of those posters, especially if he did it. Most definitely, he does great work.
Let's see. Awesome. Well, from what I'm seeing here we go. Greenlit. Is there a possibility of Joe Manganiello getting his Deathstroke origin film or series greenlit?
I mean, that would be great too, right? I remember there was another Sutton thing out there that Ben Affleck was doing a Batman series, right? And it was all going to be pre, you know what I mean? And it's funny because would be interesting to see Deathstroke in that series still have his, little bit of an origin story being told, and it's kind of incorporating 8 episodes between Batfleck and Deathstroke coming to odds, and so we get to see that evolution through this big narrative that's being told. I think that would be pretty massive. Having a Deathstroke on HBO Max would be great too.
Oh, yeah.
But who knows? Incorporating 2 for 1, I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And I see that so far that's the last question that I'm seeing in here for our panelist. We are getting close to the 2-hour mark. So any closing remarks from you guys? You guys have any questions for Matt that you'd like to ask before we close out?
Well, Matt, I know you answered.
I was directing that to Dawson
there we go.
and
Right.
Anthony.
I've asked most of the questions.
I was just go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I know that you answered it earlier, but when we talked about the whole scooping game, people would say, "Oh, well, they did the same thing," and I would disagree. That
Now we do the same thing.
Yes,
and I'm not a fucking scooper though.
Exactly.
The fuck would I scoop though? Like I say it all the time. Like if I was a scooper, I would. Okay, if I was a scooper and this was my primary job and I didn't do anything else, I would fucking float bullshit all day on the internet. Like because I gotta have something every day. Not everything comes in every day, right? So
right. Especially now. Like the news, the film news or whatever. It's like you were saying earlier, especially for like DC. DC is the most rich film franchise to talk about now because of when the Snyder Cut was announced last year, that's all there was. So like the haters, anybody and everybody was like,
we'll go back, right?
What's the new thing about Snyder Cut?
Go back, right? You said it's the hot thing right now, right? When Marvel was doing WandaVision, everybody said Benedict Cumberbatch was going to show up as Doctor Strange. Do you guys all remember those fucking articles?
And Patrick Stewart,
James McAvoy,
and Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Some real morons were saying that shit, and I was like,
yeah, they were.
you know what?
Yeah, they were.
But
yeah, they were.
Those are all great conversational pieces, right? For a lot of this information where people actually were hearing these things. The same goes for DC properties. DC is going to be the new it thing because people are kind of doing their run with Marvel. And don't get me wrong, I've actually kind of really liked the Falcon and Winter Soldier show now. After the last episode, I'm like, oh, now it's it's getting picked up, man. I like it. And I liked WandaVision, but at the end of it all, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what's the next big thing coming? What's the next? People like comic book genres. Right?
Black Widow.
Who said that?
I'm not excited for that.
I don't think anybody is.
Answer me right now. So want to dispel this for Daniel. How can a Justice League 2 work on HBO Max? The same way that Justice League 1 worked on HBO Max.
I mean, originally Zack Snyder's Justice League was supposed to be what? Parts, right? It was supposed to be four parts or 6 parts. They were going back and forth between 4, 6. They didn't know how many parts it wanted to be, and then Zack finally said it's supposed to be 6 parts. And it was supposed to be broken up in series so that you can digest it easier, and it would have been a long-running series, which would have been interesting. And now we're at this point where they dropped it as a film. So it just begs the question, right? How would they drop their remaining future? Would they do it in cinema or would they do it on HBO Max?
Well, I mean, cinema, they would have to go back to Warner Brothers for distribution.
Exactly. Yeah. And if they don't want to do that, they go directly to stream. And guess what? They already know that they're profitable on stream.
Exactly.
There's 1.5 million tweets out there that will show that the engagement from 1.5, and you do the numbers to show the higher engagement around the world.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, Matt, if HBO Max were to make an announcement, or Warner Media to make an announcement saying, hey guys, so just to clear things up, we're not moving forward with Zack's universe.
Yeah. They would say that.
How hard would that hit their subscriber base?
It would hit it
saying, screw you,
hit it very,
cancel.
But that's like jumping on a wagon, right? It's like jumping off of a wagon.
I'm not saying
like that video game
that, but I'm saying that would happen though, to a degree, to a harsh degree, that would totally happen. I would think.
Think of it this way, like HBO Max is not going to go out there and say that we're not going to do the Snyderverse because they don't have the answer yet, right? They don't have the answer solid for what they want to give fans. Now, they're not going to tell fans like, hey, we're going to do the Snyderverse, we're going to move forward without a game plan, right? They're not going to be like, we're going to do more Snyderverse. Yeah, and it's only going to be good for about a week. And then fans are then going to ask the question, well, what are you going to give us?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. They don't have the plan fully formulated with structure, right?
Yeah.
You need budgets, you need locations, you need to know what's coming, you need to know what's planned, you need to know how we can get these people attached, how can we get them all worked out, what projects will go with what, how can we do all this, right? Like those questions all need to be answered. It's not something that's going to be answered over the weekend like Wonder Woman 3, where we're going to move forward with one extra movie. We're talking about Justice League 2, Justice League 3, Batfleck, Ayer cut stuff, right? Is there going to be a future within the Ayer cut? Is David Ayer going to return and do what is it, Gotham City Sirens project? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there going to be more attached to this? Is there going to be the Batfleck, Deathstroke, Cyborg, Superman show? You know, a Henry Cavill. What happens after Justice League 3? Are we going to get that story with Superman?
I mean, a Cyborg show or movie, I think should happen. I mean, Ray Fisher did an incredible job with that role. His performance was so good, and I would love to see him get his own solo run, maybe a show or a movie. But moving forward now, I would think that if HBO Max, if it does continue on HBO Max, the Snyderverse that is, I would think that they would probably go the route of doing their movies or whatnot, stories in episodic form, because you build more excitement and you generate more money, income, everything. Week by week by week. I mean, we'd be on here talking about what part 5 coming up of Zack Snyder's Justice League, or maybe part 6, whatever. However they would have broken that up if it would have been in episodes. You
know what you guys are doing daily?
Tweeting.
You're tweeting. You're interacting. You're building engagement. You're making these shows. You're doing a Justice Con about this property, this IP property, and people are going to show up. What happened last Justice Con? There was a Comic-Con, right? Do people remember Comic-Con? Because I don't remember many people watching it.
The big thing about Comic-Con was that stupid X-Men
New Mutants.
Oh, and you saw how that turned out. But I mean, it was not very memorable. It was and then right after that you had Justice Con Fandom. I can't say Fandom 2. Justice Con and Fandom were the biggest things last year as far as like fan engaged events.
And we are in the middle of a pandemic, right? A lot of people are getting vaccinated, but again, vaccinations doesn't promise the end of a pandemic. You know what I mean? Not many people are being vaccinated. A lot of states are still uplifting or closing their stuff down, but at the end of the day, we're still in the middle of COVID-19, right? We're still in that mix. So how do you move forward with this engagement? How are they going to move these properties into, they're not going to just drop a tweet. Everybody jumps on Twitter and they think that a tweet's going to solve the world, and it doesn't, right? You're waiting for that hit piece article coming from Variety or the Hollywood Reporter. They're not going to do that, or Deadline for that matter. They're going to do it big. If you're going to announce something like this, you're going to do it at a place like Comic-Con or DC Fandom. You're going to put it out there on that platform so everybody can see. You highlight it, You don't make an announcement like this 24 hours after, because we don't even know if Wonder Woman 3 is even going to be moving forward. They might even change directions and go somewhere else, because Warner Brothers is different than HBO Max. They're building off the hype. They're moving off the hype train. It's like pushing the fucking bandwagon this way to get everybody on. And then once they get there, you push everyone off the train and say, now jump on this one. Right? Like, get off the fucking shit. We're going to go jump on this one. Zack Snyder's HBO Max is like they're steamroading forward, and they're still going with 1.5 million tweets, and the rest of everybody else wanting this universe to continue. Yeah. So how do you get people to keep jumping on while they're staying on this? They might be frustrated or angry, and I understand the frustrations and the anger, but they're still attached, right? They still got tethers on it to know what's going to happen. But once you get to that big conclusion, where they finally announce something, then it's like the internet will explode.
It'll explode, but then it'll also relax. I think a lot of people will be like, oh, it's good, whatever. It's kind of like when the Snyder Cut was announced. I mean, everybody got hyped, but then people were like, okay, well, it's great. That's
usually how it goes. It explodes and then it just relaxes.
Yeah.
Except for you.
So that's what happened to your.
Look.
Okay, I couldn't help myself.
Jose's trying to tell you.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Jose Chaos.
Oh, look, Black Adam, right? The Black Adam film's finally being shot after how many years?
Yeah,
Right?
12.
12
12
years.
years. 12 years.
12 years, right?
So
dropping
Black
Dusty.
Adam, man, wouldn't it be something? And my son and we were talking about it. Is that like Batman and Flash and everybody, Mara and all them, they're on the way to like try to go wake up or awaken Black Adam, because who else can go up against Cal? An evil Cal.
Mhm.
So I think that would be pretty cool, and that's why he's like the balance of power.
An evil cow.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you got to understand, Black Adam is what they're pushing the JSA, right? They're pushing the JSA. So they're JLA. They're pushing the JLA. Is it JLA or JSA?
No,
Is that
Justice
the one
Society.
JSA.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
bringing the
the
Justice
JSA,
League.
JSA.
So they got the JSA then there, right? So if they're pushing that, they're already building upon a universe with Dr. Fate. So Dr. Fate is a crossover character that can appear in Justice League Dark. And they already got Justice League Dark moving forward. And you got other crossover characters like, I don't know.
And they've been
Hawkman
like they
crossover.
just spent so much money on J.J. Abrams, and what has he developed? What has he brought to the table since they signed contracts with this guy?
He's got a lot. He's got Justice League Dark coming. He's got the new Superman coming. They're going to move in that direction with that Superman. But then you have a lot of other things too that are still on the back burner, right? The Harley Quinn and Joker project. You have the Ayer Cut project still sitting back. You have Gotham City Sirens. You have Batgirl. Oh my God. Weren't we just informed that Zack was doing a Batgirl with Ben Affleck to show up in his project? Oh my God. That's so crazy. And then on the DC Warner Brothers side, you got Batman, right? That whole Bat family, right? Another Joker, possibly another Joker, another Robin showing up in that world, another Batgirl showing up in that world, Catwoman in that world. You can have that world do its own thing. They're never going to cross over. I'll say that right now. There's no way in fucking dynamite hell that Henry Cavill is going to show up with Robert Pattinson on a screen any day, unless it's like a promotional image for Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's my serious face when I say that. Like, it's never going to happen.
You'll see it on Vanity Fair, just as a photo
cover.
Sorry. If an article drops tomorrow just because I said that, and then somebody throws it in my face, I'm going to laugh hysterically and then literally go beat my meat like Andre did until it falls off.
Oh my God.
So stupid. This is so stupid.
So little.
But I mean, we're talking about things that are like in the realm of possibilities, right? But at the end of the day, what's really possible and plausible? The things that have already happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Zack Snyder's Justice League changed everything. It shut down New Gods.
Yeah.
And the trench. It closed the trench.
It closed the trench.
The trench was dead the moment they announced it.
It was. Nobody was gonna go see that. I mean, if it had any chance of survival or having any sort of legs, it had to have been on streaming. And so yes, I mean, it was just the dumbest ass idea I think I'd ever heard. Walter Hamada is really a moron for bringing that one up.
Well, think about it. If The Rock is pushing, and I love how people are saying The Rock is going to make the Snyder cut happen. Fuck Hussein. I love Hussein. Hussein's great. So if you have in that realm, right, The Rock is playing Black Adam, who gets locked away and doesn't come back until years later. Hawkman can transfer into another body. So can Dr. Fate. So the JSA can live on eventually in the future of this DCEU and still come in contact with the Justice League or Justice League Dark. Because let's remember that wasn't the sequel to Suicide Squad supposed to focus on the villain being Black Adam? And that was part of that script that they were moving forward with, and that fell apart. And that's when they brought up James Gunn, because they were moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
So
they have these ideas just sitting around.
I mean, do you think Suicide Squad, the new one coming out, is that going to allude to Black Adam at the end of the movie?
Fuck, I don't think so at all. I mean, they have Starro.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
this shit is going cosmic, bro.
They're like set in modern time, it seems like, too.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to reference that. I don't think they're going to reference anything that's going on in Shazam, because I mean, even though it is under Warner Brothers, it is still a New Line Cinema venture. Mm-hmm. So they're not ready to cross over or add or start playing around with characters and things like that.
Well, Daniel's got a good point too. He said Zack Snyder's Justice League set up the multiverse in there as well. And Matt, you had touched on that as well, saying that they had that line saying, when he used the term multiverse in Zack Snyder's Justice League,
They
which I
said
thought
it
was
multiple
great.
times.
Multiple
The moment-
times.
Yeah, and
I thought
I'm
it was
glad that they
brilliant.
said that, and he wasn't like the Elseworlds, because that's what they were trying to pass off last.
They were
year,
trying to say it's
Elseworlds, and I
Elseworld,
was
right?
like, no.
But you can't push Elseworld anymore when you say multiverse.
Yeah.
The most common DC fan will think, "Oh shit." And then what did they show you at DC fandom? Literally, this is a fucking multiverse. Their map to DC fandom was the multiverse. So
Right.
it's like The Flash is the next film after this, which is always the setup since 2014, where they showed the map with the DC films, and The Flash was always next. It was always the follow-up.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but they've had too many wrenches in there, and that's why we've had 4 years of drought.
And Greg Berlanti is not going to be the next Feige. I think that I saw that out there too.
That's not going to happen. That was another article that was last year.
That was WB wants a Feige.
Yeah,
no, they don't. No, they don't. They don't want that.
And they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Because if they did that, you know how much money they would lose? Warner Brothers would lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
They just don't have. I'm sorry, but they just don't have that the structure for it. They don't have the right people in place, even for something a semblance of that. So, but all right. So we asked Nickatina, and he's led us down this path. I'll go with Dawson, since he looks
intrigued.
Do you have any final thoughts or questions for Matt?
As far as questions, I think I've asked all of my questions. I think just final thoughts, like, Army of the Dead's gonna be fantastic. The Snyderverse, I think the same thing that both Matt and Taylor have been saying for a while. It's just gonna take some time, and it's gonna take a little bit to get things settled and just get things announced. It's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah.
Which, again, as a fan, it's gonna take a lot of patience. It's gonna take a lot of patience, but if we just keep being or try to be positive, it'll paint, the people who want this in a better light, and it'll make it an easier decision to do so. And it'll make it to where, it'll just make it to where it's easier for general audiences to be more intrigued by. General audiences are intrigued by as it is. When we saw how people reacted to Zack Snyder's Justice League, again, all the different people, all the different influencers, all these different high, level people, NFL players, country music singers, top men, yes, tweeting out "Restore the Snyderverse" and people really liking it. So people are already intrigued. That you just got to exercise a little bit of patience. So, yeah.
Oh shit!
And also, I just refer to the Ghostbusters line. Yes, this man has no dick.
You said dick.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Dawson.
Because the line is no, it is. It is dick. All right, so Anthony. I can't stop you from talking because you've killed me with that. So I guess one final word from you, and then you're through for tonight. So
No, Army of the Dead gonna be fire. Looking forward to it and shit. I do have one final question though for Matt. Is just how far do you think the hashtag restore Nickatina's penis? How much can we get? How far can that go?
That's actually a really great question. Hold on, Nick. Hold on, man. I think if we put a lot of effort in this, right, and we put a lot of time into this,
you guys.
We can get this to go about 3 to 4 inches a day before we can.
Are you talking about on the GoFundMe site?
Yes.
The line?
We can get that number to get bigger.
Okay.
And stronger.
Yo,
and longer.
What's going on?
Yes.
That's terrible.
Well, anyway, Matt, final thoughts. What do you anticipate? Where do you see everything going? What is, I guess, your estimation of the situation?
Of Nickatina's penis?
No,
That's too
We're
short.
sliced
That's
off by
too short a
this.
goal. It's too short a topic.
Yeah.
It's almost irrelevant and insignificant.
But
Continue.
I think overall, Justice Con this weekend, it should be a lot of fun for everybody. It's going to build a lot more hope for people, and it's going to be great. I mean, they're bringing in cast and crew from Army of the Dead, which I think is amazing. Dave Bautista, fuck yeah. And, you got more people from the film that people haven't seen before that have actually worked on Zack Snyder's Justice League and Army of the Dead. They're going to be showing up. I think it's going to be great for a lot of people that tuned in to LightCast before last year that got to see some of these people. They're going to be showing up again, and we get to hear more from them. And I think that that's something that it always highlights positivity out there. But I don't subscribe to cancel culture. I don't think that people should do that. I think people should keep their HBO Max subscriptions and keep watching that property again and again, and just, have fun with it. I go back and watch parts of it. You don't have to watch the full thing. It doesn't matter. But that engagement doesn't just show one. It shows you that it's ongoing. Like we said from the beginning, you gonna have to keep that HBO Max subscription to show that, it is an ongoing thing. And there's a lot more things coming. Mortal Kombat's just right around the corner. Godzilla Kong was there, so that was good. Godzilla Kong was great investment for Zack Snyder's Justice League because fans got to keep their HBO Max subscriptions just to watch that, right? So those numbers for Godzilla Kong help Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? So people need to understand there's a bigger picture here, and Zack would easily tell people like, hey, it's been great, but I'm going to move and venture in somewhere else. But he's not doing that. He's telling people to stay the course and to keep moving forward and
stay the course.
Even some of the cast from Mortal Kombat,
Yep.
The cast from Mortal Kombat is saying restore the Snyderverse now. So that's a great thing to see.
Yeah,
and,
the blue check marks, white check marks, actors, actresses, whatever. It's awesome. It's awesome to have that validation from people that normally wouldn't or have not been very supportive of this universe. So it's pretty awesome. Matt, thank you so much for joining us again on the 4Nerds, man. We love having you, and that's why we invite you back every time. Also, guys,
every time,
60% of the time it works every time.
For everybody else, please follow us individually. Oh, let me get that up.
We gotta change
Sorry about that.
Though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. Did you make a new one, Dawson, about for his Twitter?
Not yet, but just add an underscore. That's
we'll have to get the official image from Dawson. Eventually, we'll get that, and we can update this and update you guys as we go forward, as Nickatina likes to put it. Thank you so much. Listen to the forward. That's what Nickatina says. He says forward. He never says forward. He says forward.
Forward.
Yeah, there you go. Listen to the podcast on Spotify, on Nerdy Many Ways channel.
My show.
Ryan needs to send me the audio for that.
I will. Get your I Stand with Ray Fisher jersey. It's still available, and 100% of the proceeds go to AFSP. We're still doing that because it's still an awesome cause, and there's no need to stop. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then our big initiative. No, I'm not. It went down on its own. I guess it expired or whatever, so I had to contact him and have him, re-up it. So it's back up. It was down. But with a little bit of work, I managed to get it back up.
Oh my!
And it's what? It's good.
Half the battle.
Yes. And so yes, again, if you have any extra dinero, please forward that to the GoFundMe for Nickatina to come out and hang out with us for one weekend. We can get him out of the house and go see the exhibit. He's never been on any sort of vacations. And he's never really gotten out of the house. It's a field trip, really. It's a field trip for Nickatina.
And if we go, we will be streaming as well. So
we will be streaming.
Everyone will be there along for the ride.
Yes,
maybe not from the car.
I'll be there,
but from on foot.
On foot, yes. We're gonna have show after show, and it's gonna be amazing. And
Incredible.
And yeah, so we'll have a ceremony when we get there, and Matt from LightCast will conduct it. So
Yeah, I love it.
So where can everybody find you now that you're no longer the host of LightCast?
You can find me. My address is 21. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't worry, I'll put it on the screen.
No, I mean I'm still I'm still around. We're gonna have I kind of from time to time to help out Josh, who's the new host, because he works for a pretty big company, and sometimes he gets kind of busy, and we kind of rotate hosts to do interviews. Sometimes he'll ask me to do an interview, or the guests will ask me if they wanted me to interview them or things like that. But we do have somebody from Army of the Dead coming on our show next week. Awesome. We were going to do it this week, but out of respect for Justice Con, and we don't want to take any highlight away from them or do anything prior to what they're doing. We're going to wait until next week to do a lot of our interviews, and because we want to watch Justice Con too. I'm going to be there to watch it. That we're going to be having Samantha Wynn joining us next week and a few other cast members. And we're going to talk a little bit more about their projects and, a little bit more about Army of the Dead. So it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, you could just, I'm always around. I mean, if you put something out there, I might see it. If I don't get upset that I don't respond. Just, it'll eventually get to me.
All right. That's awesome. And always when we have you on, we have to play this.
I want to shave my...
Well, that's it for us. I want to thank everybody in the chat for contributing and being a part of the show. Thank you so much. Who do we have next week, Nickatina?
We have Ben Affleck will be here on the show.
Ben Affleck will be on the show.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, I had to pull some strings. He's gonna be here in my.
Did he find your balls?
That's why he's coming. That's why he's coming.
Ben Affleck's gonna come on here and just.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Hashtag find Nickatina's balls.
There it is.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Do we not have I thought we did. I thought the people from
I think it's
not yet.
Real Anarchy or not or who are they?
No.
Who are the people that you had? They did a little clip.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.